session of our Power BI training. And I hope you had practiced. This is what I always keep expecting from the participants, um, but definitely not any other things. So if you guys have practiced, well and good. And if you guys have not practiced, but try to make some time for yourself to practice it so that you should be able to understand more about the Power BI and that becomes more user friendly. Okay. So before we start the session, what I would request everyone is to open the day one Power BI file, what we have created earlier. Okay. And once you do that, the very first thing what you are going to do is to click on the file here and then click on Save As. And you need to create or save the file as day two. And whenever it says apply, click on apply later. No need to click on the apply right away. I mean, that doesn't create any harm, but still, yes. So if you have successfully done this, you should see a day two file. The reason why we are doing this method, so at any given point in time, if you go back and verify your Power BI files for all the day one sessions and day two and day three and day four session, so you will know what is the difference between a day one and day two, what you have learned, and also you will understand for yourself how you are progressing from day one till day four. That's the only intention behind doing this activity. And just give me a confirmation if you guys are done this way. Just open the Power BI file and then save as day two and then keep continuing from there. Now, once you do the day two, click on the apply later option and then save. While you're doing this
Yes.
activity, if you guys face any issue or any kind of error or anything, let me know.
Yeah, done.
Okay. How about remaining other ones? Can you guys give me a confirmation quickly? Shikhar, Swapnil, Ashish, Shubhomita, Namita, Sharda.
Yes.
Yes, done.
Yes, done.
Okay. Now,
Hello, hello.
yes,
हेलो
Shikhar. Ashish. Yes, Ashish.
डॉक्टर मैं जब फाइल पे क्लिक कर रहा हूँ तो नॉर्मल डे वन की फाइल नहीं ओपन हो रही है.
डे वन का फाइल ओपन नहीं हो रहा है. मतलब
इसका
पावर बीआई ऑटोमेटिक ओपन किया.
हाँ.
So this is for Ashish.
Yes.
Okay.
ये ओपन हो रहा है.
हाँ ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. Click on the file. That's okay. Just click on the save as. Day one का फाइल ऑलरेडी ओपन किया आपने. Click on apply later. Just rename this as day two. Now you could see the file name got changed automatically on the top as day two.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so before we move on to this, you guys have any questions?
No.
Okay. If you guys don't have any questions, I have questions. Probably you could help me out on that.
Okay.
Okay, so this is my Power BI file. Okay. So this is my Power BI file. What I just have created like day two file. Now, how do I get into a Power Query editor screen? from the Power BI?
Transform data. Transform.
Good. So I need to click on the transform data.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then new source.
And then new source. The moment once you do this, do you everyone see the preview maybe 7 days old?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How do I refresh my files?
Next to
How
the
do, next to the
Just cancel
next
it or how?
refresh
no, I
button
need
is
right. So this is the option where I have taught you earlier. This is the refresh preview. So the moment once I click on the refresh all, I could see all the files are refreshed one more time. This is just for to ensure, just in case if there is anything, I mean, with this refresh, you should be able to understand everything. Like your data and everything should be perfectly synchronized, and you shouldn't see any kind of error.
Correct.
All right. I still remember Pranjali's question, like how do I filter for a set of values? So as I told you that, there is no a straight case for such kind of scenarios. There is always a workaround. Okay. This is the question what she had, asked us last time, right? So the
Yeah.
only thing what I would say, like how we have created a parameter separately, like this, like how we have created a set of parameters. Okay. Now this is a list. However, this is a simple list. However, the only problem what you will, or the only workaround that you have to do is in your original database. Okay. In your original database, you have to add one more column where your teams or your set of values are defined. For example, Asia and Africa, I need to filter. Okay. So if I have to define a name called filter, like first, I just gave a name called first. Okay. And similarly, what I did here is I created one simple source like this, like Asia. I have added one more column. Okay. Similarly, I can extend this by double click on this, because this is a manual table. And then I have got Europe, Oceania,
How
NAM.
did you created this table on the left side?
Tell me, how did I create the table? You remember the step, like how did we create the table within this?
Uh,
Anyone? You remember this option called enter data?
yes.
So when I click on the enter data, it will allow me to add a
Create
table here.
table. Okay. Okay.
So
Fine.
within that, I can manually enter all the values. Okay.
Yeah.
So post which I have added one more column, instead of first, I can delete this step here. I don't require this. In fact, I can straightly do it in the source by adding one more column. Like click on this plus button here. I'll add one more column, something like, let's say, let's give something first, and then I'll keep second, and rest is like third. Click on OK. So I've got two columns here. Okay. Column 1 with the continent names, column 2 with the names which are assigned like in a group. This is a simple way. Reordering of the columns or nothing, but I'll just remove this step. This is not required, or either this is not required. So I'll just keep these two aside. I have got a simple table. Okay. Now we have got a simple column. Now, based on this, on the append one, we are going to see how do you can create that. But before before we do, okay, before we do this, as I told you, this is just a simple workaround. And if you go to any of the Google search and then try to identify, probably trust me on this, you are not going to get this kind of workaround. The reason why you're not going to get this workaround, the Power BI doesn't have that capability of what the question Pranjali have asked. Like, can I group a few of the elements together and then filter them? So we don't have a straight case on that Power BI. Okay. Something like an option where I can just go and put it in a parameter and then do it. Rather, we have just a simple kind of workaround. Based on the workaround only, we need to go ahead with. That's the only case. Now the challenge is you have got a table outside where it says Africa and Asia are defined as first, Europe and Oceania are defined with second, NAM and SAM are defined with the name third. So what does this mean? If I go to the filter parameters, okay, where I already have clicked on the manage parameter, I mean, I'm just using the manage parameter. We already did a manage parameter where we did see a kind of straight values. So here on the suggested value, instead of query, I'll still go to, yeah, because on the query it doesn't work or appear. So what I'll do is I'll just click with use the option called list of values. I'll just mention here first, second, third, and you need to be really careful because this is a case sensitive again. Okay, across the Power BI you need to be a little careful with this case sensitive, because anything that there is in the data and then you're trying to add values like this, ensure that these values are according to what you have in the database. Like यहाँ पे अगर मान लो मैंने, if I put this in a capital letter, it doesn't work out. If I put it in a small letter, it doesn't work out. Okay, so I need to put it exactly the way what I have drafted in my database. So this is the value that I'm looking at, and default value, let me just put it as first and current value as first, and then click OK. Right. So now I have got the table. I have got the table separately, which is a separate table altogether, wherein I have got the column 1 with continent names, column 2 with the defined names or grouping names, I would say, what these are grouped for. And manage parameters, what I have given is the group names, not the continent names. Now these two are done. Now when I go to the append one, now do you see I can straightly go ahead and then uh, using filter or using the parameters, can I able to filter the data here now?
Yes.
Okay. On what basis we can filter the data?
One and third, like that. We assigned right.
Sorry, come again.
We assigned those parameters to first, second, third, right? According to that, we can filter, right?
See, again, listen carefully one more time. There is a table here. Okay. There is a table. And in the table, you have got column 1, continent names, column 2, the grouping names. So which means whenever I say first, Asia and Africa will represent. Whenever I say second, Europe and Oceania. When I say third, NAM and SAM will appear. And I have added these group names in the manage parameter. This is what I have done so far. Now, when I go to the append one table, looking at the append one table, okay. Now my question is, can I able to filter the data here using the manage parameter section?
No, because that column is not.
No, not now. Yeah.
Perfect. So we don't have the column here, and that is what our main challenge is. Okay. Now what we are going to learn is how do we create a connectivity between this append one table and the table so that your managed parameters can be worked accordingly, according to that particular table. Okay. Right. So till last week you have learned bit of options where you could see the new source, enter data, data source settings. I hope you remember the data source settings. Like at any given point in time, if you want to change the source of the data, this is the place where you can use the data source setting. And manage parameters, right now we are talking about it one more time. And refresh preview, we just did see how you can use the refresh preview. And sorry, so we have spoken about the properties and advanced editor. As I told you, on the advanced editor, you're going to see the same applied steps in a SQL format. And we also discussed on the manage, which is duplicate or reference. So how, when you create a duplicate of the table, how it behaves, and when you create a reference of the table, how does it behave? And we did see the options like choose columns and remove columns, where you, as I told you, that if you have a large chunk of the data, then it is easy for you to use the choose columns. But if you have very less data and it is quite easier to remove certain columns, you can use the remove column. Similarly, the same functionalities is applied to keep rows and remove rows. And then we did also witness the sorting A to Z and Z to A. And you also did see the multiple sorting. When you see the multiple sorting on a data, what does the behavior like? How does it happen? What is the indication for you to understand how the sorting is happen?
With the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 like that.
Right. So there will be numbers assigned to each of the column at the end. Also, there will be a either upward symbol or downward symbol within the filter. So that, which means that gives you an indication the data is sorted and according to that particular number, whatever it is assigned. If in case the numbers are not there, it is just one single sorting happen. And we also witnessed how do we split the column based upon by delimiter, like by comma. And we did see the group by. Okay. So with the large chunk of data, how do you group by the information? That we also did see. And the data type any is nothing but your um, change type. So when I say the change type, for example, if I want to change the column data here, okay, then I can go back and select that particular column and then click on the data type. I can change the format of the column. This is second way that you can change, or either you can click on this option here where you can see ABC123. So when you click on this, either you will have the option to change the format of the data either from this way or either from this option. Okay. And use first row as a header. Can anyone tell me what exactly this particular step mean in?
Which one? The first use first row as a header?
Yes. If I apply this data, if I apply this step on the data, so what is the applied step that it will show? You remember this? What are the default 4 steps that I have spoken when you load a data?
Custom change.
No, when you load a new source, okay, when you load a data, new data from a new source, what are the default steps that you will be seeing? This is the very first topic that we have discussed.
We need to check whether the columns and the rows are about it.
Source, change type or something like that. 4 steps there. I can't recall exactly.
Right, you're a bit close. One is source, navigation, promoted
Uh-huh.
headers, change
Yes.
type. These are the 4 default steps that you will be seeing. I know it's a bit long journey. It's been 7 days. Probably it would be a bit difficult for us. And this is a second class. So this is what exactly I have told you. Once you practice or you have gone through the video sessions, this is what you will be making a notes of this. Okay. Because when you tell the same thing to someone else, or when you are dealing the data with the same way, right, you should experience these things properly. Okay.
So here we can get the promoted header, right?
Here you can get the promoted header, but there's no point because already यहाँ पे headers हैं. Then you did look at the replaced values also, like you have replaced the null value with any data or anything. That is what we have witnessed on that. And we looked into the append queries as new. That is where the result of this, where you can see the append one data. Now, what you haven't learned and what is really important about this data is what you're going to experience it now. Okay. Now, first thing, click on the append one table, everyone, and then confirm me how many number of steps you are able to see, everyone.
Three are there.
Okay. What are the steps that you see? What are the 3 steps?
Source, filtered
Mhm.
rows, and one is the filtered rows one again.
Okay, great. Can you remove the filtered rows and filtered rows one, both the steps?
Okay.
Just
Yeah, now
retain
only the
only the
source is
source.
there.
Great.
Yeah.
And can everyone confirm me that you have only the source step on your data?
Yes.
Okay. Only when you have one particular step source, it is easy for us to move on. Otherwise, around the data, I mean, the values will be completely gone. That's the reason I'm just giving you a cause. Everyone ready with this? Okay. I don't want you guys to be so dull in the morning. 10 बजे अब already नाश्ता भी किया होगा. If not, just grab a cup of coffee, be active, and tell me, are we good to go?
Yes.
Yes is from Pranjali. How about remaining everyone? ये प्रांजलि को टीम लीडर बना गया क्या?
No, 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 no.
No problem. If you're the team lead, I'll take the consent from you. Everyone should be okay. Oh yeah, you see, Shekhar says yes, you are the team lead.
Maybe he's saying ready to go.
Okay, that's a positive sign. No problem. Okay, now tell me everyone, what is your favorite formula in Excel? Everyone, what's your favorite formula in Excel?
VLOOKUP.
VLOOKUP से जी सकते हैं हम कहीं भी.
We look up.
Yeah. That's what I say. Like we can win anything with VLOOKUP. That's our most favorite formula, right? Now, how do you apply a VLOOKUP on Power Query? Okay, let me ask you the other way around. Now, VLOOKUP being your favorite formula, have you ever come across any difficulty with the VLOOKUP? Initially, when you're learning VLOOKUP, I know if I ask you to tell me the VLOOKUP formula, tell me a VLOOKUP formula. How do you write it?
Is equals to we look up
Uh-huh.
open bracket reference cell
Mm-hmm.
comma data source range
Hmm.
comma column number comma
Okay.
approximate value 0 close bracket.
Good. At least I could able to hear a different answer. If I put the same question to most of the groups, the very first thing I will listen to them is the reference cell table array, and apart from that, they will straightly tell me number 2, comma 0. When I'm surprised to understand like why they put number 2. Then they usually say that sir, it's a default number, but no one does understand like it's not 2. It's said to be a column number because column number is a place where you are giving the number from which column your desired value is available. Okay. Now you have got 4 syntaxes, and this is what the way that you're writing the formula in VLOOKUP. Now, how do you write the same formula in Power BI? And now let me see how easy this is or easily understandable for everyone. Before I do this, let me also give you an understanding that there is, when you're doing this VLOOKUP activity in Power BI, there is no formula. On the very first note, there is no formula. There is just a workaround again. Okay. However, this workaround is going to be very simple compared to the Excel application. And here, just go with the statement blindly that there is no formula called VLOOKUP. There is no formula called VLOOKUP in Power BI, but rather it is called merging. Okay. It is called merge query. So you might come across this bit most of the times. You might come across this bit most of the time. So I would say this is called the merge query. And you have done this merge query in your childhood. Now the same thing, you're going to repeat this. So when I say when you have done this in your childhood, I hope how many of you have heard about the Venn diagrams?
Yes.
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 You have heard about the Venn diagrams, right? So Venn diagrams are something where you have just written draw two circles, and then you are going to see the union, intersection, left outer, right outer. The same concept, if you have done this and you're bit of aware, you're going to perform the same thing. However, this is going to be a very simple, straight and plain case. Very, very simple. Okay. Um, so for that, what you need to do is, right, now we are going to do it on the append one. Okay. Now we are going to do it on the append one. Now tell me, what is the common point or common data between the append one table, which is there on my screen, and the table? What is data? What is the common point between these two?
Column 1, the continents.
The
Continent,
continent.
right? So continent becomes your reference cell, or I would say that becomes your unique set of data. So first thing, keep
Yeah.
this in mind. So whenever you want to write a merge query, the very first thing that needs to come to your mind, or the default thing that you need to really understand, is what is the common point between, or the common column between two different tables where you are going to apply a merge query. Okay. So the very common point between these two are continent, right? The second step, what you need to understand, I will try to write it here. This is a bit difficult, but still let me try. So first, identify common column between two tables. Okay. Now the second step, what you need to do is, second step, choose or activate the table where you will perform a merge query option. Okay. Now tell me, where do I want to apply the merge query? In which table I want to apply the merge query now? Is it on append one or table?
Append.
Append one,
Append one.
right? So I'm going to select this table. Okay. Then after doing this, you see this option here called merge queries on the top, everyone. It is on the home
Yes.
group, combine home tab, combine group. You'll see the merge query. So click on the merge query. Don't use the option called merge query as new, because we are doing this activity on the table. Just in case if you want to create a new table separately altogether, then you are going to use the option called merge query as new. But here iska zarurat nahi. So you're going to use the merge query. Okay. So now the moment once you click on the merge, on the top, you should see the append one table. Okay. With the values. Now this place where you are able to see the table, this table should not be there shouldn't be any option for you to change the table name. Okay, because you are going to perform the activity of merge query on the append one. So this is your checkpoint to understand. Once you select the append one table, click on the merge query, this should automatically get frozen. Okay, so you're not going to do any changes. So as a third step, you are going to click on the I know this is sometimes not really necessary, but I'm doing it because so that it is easy for you whenever you're looking at this. Okay.
Yeah.
Only for the merge query I'm doing, not for the remaining things. So the checkpoint here, the table on top of merge query what is this pop-up should be frozen, or should be, yeah, it should be frozen. Okay, this is the checkpoint. Okay, and this table which is frozen should match with the second step. Kyunki, as I told you, in the second step, the table where you are performing the activity, that should actually match here in this. So you should be able to understand. Now, once you do this, below this table, you have an option where you are going to select the table from. Okay. So which is the fourth step. Select the table from where you are, or you need to grab the value from. Okay. Now, if you understand the statement, fourth step, select the table from where you need to grab the values from. Now, in this case, from which table I need to pull the values?
Append one.
Okay. Anything else?
Or the table we are going to match with that.
Right. So
Table.
why we are doing this merge step first? What is our motto to bring the merge step?
To
So the
combine
table
the
values, against each of the continent, there is a column 2 which is defined here, right? Or let's say I will put this as a continent so that it is easy. Grouping. I need to bring the group values to the append one table. That is what my motto.
Okay.
If you are doing a VLOOKUP, usually in Excel, I need to bring the group values. So what you will do, you'll go to the append sheet and then go to the last column and then click on a new cell and then type is equal to VLOOKUP and then select the continent and then select this particular table and then comma 2, comma 0. That is your answer. Now here, what we are going to do is under the continent, under the table, there are two columns called continent and group. Okay, now we have got append one. So we are going to do the merge query on the append one. So click on the merge query and select the table here, because this is a place where we need to bring the values from. Is it clear?
हेलो लक्ष्मी
Yes. Yes.
एक्चुअली ये मेरे बुक जो मैंने सेव किया डे 2 करके उसमें टेबल नहीं था मींस फर्स्ट डे के इसमें टेबल करके नहीं हमने एक्टिविटी की थी सो
तो आपने डेटा एंटर नहीं किया था शायद.
यस
Okay, don't worry about that. I will do a simple way. If everyone haven't done this activity, I will give you this method. Now, if you are following the class perfectly, I want you to, okay, no, you can do this way. You can actually take up this one, but before you do that, you need to do it this way. You need to click on the enter data.
Okay.
First thing, you need to click on enter data. Okay. And
Okay.
then click on OK. So you should see the table. I'll do one thing. I'm going to remove this table here. Okay, let me show you a step by step. I'm going to delete the table. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm asking you to click on the enter data. And then once you click on enter data, just click OK. So it will
Okay.
have the table. One table will be created on the left hand side query.
Right. Right.
Now go to the advanced editor.
Okay.
Try copying this data, whatever I have shown here. Okay. Try copying this value and then go back to your Power BI screen onto the advanced editor and then paste it here. Click on done. So it should appear the table. Now you should be able to identify why we can or how we can use the advanced editor. Just do this if you are able to do, everyone.
Yeah, it's done.
Do you see the table now with the continent and group like
Yes.
the same way?
Yes, yes, yes.
Great. How about remaining everyone?
Yes, done.
Yes, done.
Okay. Right. So now let's continue with the append one. Again, go back to the merge queries and then select the table from the below option. So you should see the table here, append one and the table here like this. So I'm going to take a snap of this for now and put it on the chat window so that you will able to see. Are we good till here, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you move to the right hand side on the top table, which is append one, you will identify that the continent column is in the last step. Okay, it is in the last column. So I'm going to select the continent. I'm not using any keyboards here. I'm just going to select with the mouse the continent column. Along with that, I'm going to select the continent from the below table. Now, when I do this activity, you should see there is a statement here. The selection matches 9551 of 9551 rows. And the joint kind will always be left outer.
Hello, Srikanth, can you just please repeat this 1 minute back? Like when we start merging queries and then.
Right. I'm going to select the append one table, click on the merge
Correct.
query.
Correct.
And I'll see the append one table on the top.
Right.
Then I'm going to select the table from the below selection.
Okay.
And on the top, on the append one table, I'll move to the right hand side where I'll see the continent. I'm going to select this continent and the continent column from the table one here, from the table below table. When I do this, when I select this, you should see there is a statement here. It says the selection matches 9551 of 9551.
Okay. Yeah.
And this should
Just
match with every one of us.
okay, just 1 minute.
Other than this, if you see any other number, let me know.
Shrikant, I can see it's 9491 of 9551 rules.
9491 of 9951. Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any other step in the append one other than the source?
No.
Okay. And if that is the case, then you might be missing, or there could be anything which is missing from here. Or on the table one, if you have created, the continent name might not be matching with any one of this continent name. Can you just confirm and see the continent names that you see here are proper?
Yeah, it's same. Come.
Same.
Okay. So who is that? Is it Mita?
Namita. Yes,
Namita.
Namita.
Share your screen, Namita. Let me see why you are seeing a different number. Could be a small glitch somewhere.
Are you able to see?
Not yet. Now I'm able to see. Okay, cancel this and go to the table below. Okay, let me see this for a moment. Africa, Asia, Europe, Oceania, NAM is good.
He changed the sequence.
No,
First,
that
he gave the
nay,
Africa,
nay, nay,
Asia. No?
nay, 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 nay. That doesn't create any issue. That should not be any problem. Go to the append one and go to the right hand side and put a filter on the continent, please. Click on the load more. I believe you might have done something. Asia, Africa, Europe, NAM, Oceania, SAM is good. Okay, click on the cancel. Go to the Asia table. Zomato Asia on the left hand side. Okay, I believe there shouldn't be any errors here. Go to the Africa table, please. Okay, go to the next one, Europe. Okay, Oceania. Okay, NAM, SAM. Okay, looks like everything is good. But the thing what could have been happened there. Good. Okay. Don't mind. Just go to the NAM table one more time. Oceania. Okay, Europe, Africa, Asia. Okay, everything looks good. So you just have the problem here on the table. Go to the table, please. Table, and the last one, table query. Click on the source here. No, click on the right hand side of the source. Double click there. Right. Could you please just check if there is any space after Africa or anything? Okay, Asia. Asia. Okay, let's do one thing. Cancel this. Let's just give it a try one more way. No. Cancel. Yes.
Yes.
Select this column 1. Right. Go to the transform tab and click on the format under the under the text column group, there is an option called format. Click on the trim. Yes. Okay. Now go to your append1 table and move to the right hand side. Select the column continent here. And if you could do the same activity, like click on the format. Go to the click on the transform tab and click on the format. Click on the trim again. Okay, now just do the merge query again. Let's see, where is it missing? Continent and then the continent.
Yeah, now. So where was the problem exactly? In the continent in append1, right?
Either it could have been in the append1 or either it could have been in the table. But my guess is it could have been in the table. When you're manually typing it, there could have been a space after each of the continent.
The table.
Yeah, any one of the value would have got a space. Otherwise around you should not see this error.
Thank you.
Now you are good, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now what we have done in Namita's case, just in case if you have got this kind of error, what you can do is you can just use a trim. Like there could be a possibility when you are downloading the data from Excel files or any other ERP applications, there is a trend where you could see there are extra spaces and everything. In fact, this topic would have been discussed later, but since we have got this right now, I could say whenever you come across such kind of scenario, I would suggest you can apply a trim formula on each of the column by selecting a certain column here. Let's say the continent. I go to the transform tab, and under the transform tab, you'll see under the text column group, the format option. Click on the trim. So this should solve the case. Apply it on both the tables.
Srikant, what does this trim formula does? Like actually the function of this?
It will remove the extra spaces after the column data. For each cell value.
Okay.
आपने कभी trim formula use किया Excel में?
Yeah.
Where did you use?
I don't remember, but we have done that. I have heard about it.
Let's say, for example, if there is a space before the data or after the data in a cell, so trim will remove that extra spaces.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So the same functionality in Power BI also we have, which is trim.
Okay.
It is going to remove
But,
the extra space before cell value and after cell value. Yep. But
question here, Lakshmi.
Mhm.
The teal color itself on the Power BI, will it not indicate that we have no space and no
No, it will not
gaps or
indicate.
no errors? Oh, okay.
Teal color is only for your indication to say if there is a blank cell value.
Okay.
It's only
But
to
for
indicate the
space,
blank cell value.
but for space inside the each
No,
column or each cell, it will not indicate.
it will not indicate.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay. All right. So let me go to the merge queries again on the append1 table. Click on the merge query and select the table. Select the content. And by the way, remaining everyone, they're able to, you guys are able to see the 9551 number, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. How about Ashish, Sharda, Shekhar?
Yes.
Okay, great. So once you do this, okay. So once you do this, this is the step. Okay, but not the final step. This is the last step where you are able to see till what steps we have done. Fourth. So the fifth step is to select the identical columns from the top and bottom table tables identified in second or third step, or sorry, fourth step. Okay, select. So once you select, the checkpoint should be
The
total.
number, no?
Yeah, the total number of rows from table 1 or from the top table match bottom table. And remember, this is an ideal scenario. Abhi, whatever the data, whatever you guys are using right now is purely created. It's a I have just created everything. So now you're able to see the result. But in real time scenario, remember this point, real time scenario, you might not match the numbers. There could be a challenge for you. Okay, you may or might not. I'll mention the same thing. You may or not. You may match or not match the numbers. Reason being, this is my data. I'm owner for that. I know clearly about this. But tomorrow, when you are using a real-time scenario, you are the owners of your data. So you should know sometimes it might match or it might not match. Reasons for not matching, a very simple way, like how we are doing in Excel. When you type VLOOKUP formula, you might come across, sorry, you might come across not applicables. Okay, that is the usual scenario. So you don't need to get panic or you don't feel like kuch galti ho gaya. Okay, take the scenario in picture that whenever you are doing anything like this, try to identify that, okay, it matches. If it is not matching, now go back to your data, cross verify why the data is not matching. And the possible scenario could be a spaces where I have just shown you, and other possible values that the data might not really be there. So that case, you will get a null value. But now for now, let's see with the data where it is everywhere matching. So once you do this, click on OK. Okay, click on OK. So the sixth step would be click OK. So once you do this, what is happening right now? Now you have created a link between two different tables. So what is the link between two different tables here? Through which means they are linking?
One new column has been added as a table.
No. My point is how these two tables are linked. Through what means they are linked now?
They're
Continent
merged.
grouping.
Merged queries.
Okay, through merge queries, through what means? Which means what is your identical column here, which is actually matching between these two?
Continent.
Continent. So continent, through continent, these tables are matching. You got it. You
Mm-hmm.
created a connectivity between these two tables via continent column.
Correct.
Now, after you have created the link, you should see there will be a new column created. So here I will just say in the sixth step, after you press OK, you should see or witness a new column created in your table, data table, where you have selected on the which step?
Merge query.
In the second step. Because the table is added in the append one, not on the table, not on the
Yeah,
table, on the append one, because we are doing the merge query on the append one, right?
correct.
Now there is a new table. Now when I expand this bidirectional filter here, when I expand this, you should see all the columns which are available from the table 1. Now, what are the columns we have got in table 1? Continent and group. So now you
Group.
see both the columns here.
Right.
Probably in a case where you might not have renamed the columns, then you should see column 1 and column 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Now हमारे पास already continent है, क्योंकि append 1 table में already continent है. Because of the continent only we have connected. Now I don't need to get the column again of continent. Rather, I will only get the group here. So the moment when I click on the group, now do you see the continents are updated with the table group? When I click on the expanded table, you should
Yes.
see both the columns, and I have deactivated the continent, but rather pull the values of the next column. Okay, so which means as a last step, click on the bidirectional arrow on the or in the filter button of newly added column. Okay, I'll not mention as a last step. I'll just mention this as a 8th step or 6th or 7th step. Now after this, as a 8th step, select all the possible columns that you want to retrieve the data. From the other table. 8th step, select all the possible columns that you want to retrieve the data from the other table other than the identical column. So which means in this case, continent. Example, continent. And click OK. Now you don't need to click OK. So that's it. So once you do, your data table is ready.
Yes.
With the new columns added. Now, the reason why I'm taking this pain of writing it, I know typing is bit pain for me. That's why I mentioned it. Don't mind. तो ये क्यों कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे कि this is very important step on the Power BI because you are going to rely on this very hugely, very huge. Okay, because most of the time, whenever you are creating any report, you are going to use this merge query more number of times. And it is really essential. That's the reason why I'm just typing everything and then making it very clear. This is important. Now you're going to practice this more again and again, but let's say right now, are you guys are able to understand this?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Now that what we are going to do is okay. So far understandable, everyone?
Yes.
I know Sorry for that. I know that Shubhamita is. You're back, Shubhamita? Okay, she may not be there. Sorry for this. Extremely sorry. Let me just remove it from the unpin. Right. So now we have got all this information which is there. Now from here, it is easy for you to again put a filter. Like you don't need to do it, but let me just do it. So again, it is easy for me to put a filter, like use the text filters equal and use the parameters here and then click on OK. Now with this way, I can see the data is filtered both for Asia and Africa. So if I go back to this filter and then change this back to second or third, so that will appear with Nam and Sam. Okay. This is the complete workaround. How do you filter the data for?
Okay.
Got it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm removing the filtered rows because I'm going to, continue from this here. But this is just for you to give an answer about how you can do it. This is the only workaround. And trust me, this kind of workaround is not going to happen anywhere in Google's. The reason being, the way everyone look at the data is different, but the direct functionalities are not available. So this is a simple workaround that you can make sure how you can filter the data for, and it's going to be quite easier. Now, again, I would definitely say once you have all the data, okay, once you have this data filtered for that, you can remove the table. So for example, as I told you, right now I'm on the third value, okay? So which means the data is for Nam and Sam. Oh, sorry, I removed that filtered rows. Let me do that one more time. So when I'm putting when I update a filter here and using a parameter, click on the filter. तो क्या होगा कि right now the value is filtered for third. So I could see the data for Nam and Sam. Okay. Now this is for your information. I can very well go back and remove this column. If I remove the column, the data will retain only for Nam and Sam. This is again, this is the beauty of this PowerPoint, Power BI. Okay. What it means, once you have done the workaround and done everything, so your data is filtered now. Now you don't want to allow the people to know that you have done this activity. Then what I will do is I'm going to just simply remove the last column which I have done. So the data will remain only for what exactly the continents that I want to see the information for. So next time, whenever you refresh the data, this will automatically perform the data. You don't need to do any changes or alterations here. You understood the point?
Can you please repeat it once again? That after you delete the table column.
See, right now the data is filtered for Nam and Sam, correct?
Correct.
But this particular column is for you to do the workaround apne kiya tha, correct? This is only for you to achieve the results of both the continents.
Yes.
Now, after you do this, you can very well remove the last column. Okay? So the data will retain only for Nam and Sam within this. From here, you can use the data. Ideally, what happens when you give this report to someone else, if they see, they might ask you, Pranjali, can you tell me why you have added this particular column? What is it doing here? Okay. But you are not, you have done it only for you to filter the data only for certain continents, not for each of the continent. Okay. So you did a workaround for yourself. This is your personal thing that you have just did it. Just to make sure that not people to understand, you can remove that column. So it gives a feel to the other people that your data is only filtered for what you want to look for.
Okay. So should we remove that on the table column or let it be?
No, you can right now you will remove all these steps like removed columns, filtered rows and everything. You will remove everything. So even on the expanded columns, merge queries also you're going to remove everything. You're going to remove clear of everything. But this is only for you to show you workaround. But merge queries का options हमें अभी और करेंगे कुछ और table से अभी यहाँ से नहीं. Okay. This is for you to just make sure how you can do a workaround. Okay.
Okay.
But steps, whatever you do, will remain the same. Is it clear so far, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Now let's move on to the next topics on the report. How do you go ahead and create the reports? Now that we have got the continent and we have got all the information, but however, from here, the real-time scenario starts. Again, when I say the real-time scenario, for this example, the real-time scenario again is gonna start. Now what we have got the continent data and we have got all the information. Now let's make a, before we go ahead and then do few more activities, I want you to do it this way. First thing on the left hand side, you see all the queries like Zomato Asia, Africa, and then Europe, Oceania, NAM, and SAM, right? Just to make sure you're giving a professional look to your report or the database, what you can do is you can select this Asia table till SAM by using the shift key. I'm going to press this. I have selected all these 6 tables on the left hand side. Right click here on this table, and then there is a option called move to group. So create a new group called continents or inputs. Let's say continents. So the moment once you click on the continent, you will see all these 6 tables are moved into a new group called continents. I'll tell you the reason why we are doing this continent way. It is easy for you to understand also. So just you can take a look at this. If you have done this activity, it's well and good. So which means select all these 6 tables and then right click and then click on the new move to group and then click on new group and then give a name to the group called continents. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to do this way. I'm going to select only this parameter, which is filter. Right click here and then click on to the move to group, click on the new group and name it as parameter. And then this is these 3 tables here. Okay, I'll just put the append one table, select the append one table, move to the group, and I'll say this as an output. And the table here, I'm going to the move to group and then say this as manual. And let the duplicate in reference be on the other queries. So this is how you have to create the groups like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups should be there on your report.
Srikant, the parameter one group, like filter third, that step we have not done. So I'm still with the
Okay, if you're not
in
done,
the
no
first
problem at all.
sample SAM only. So I need to do some activity on the parameter,
No.
manage parameters.
No. Right click there and then just move to the parameter group.
That's it. Okay,
That's
no?
it.
Okay,
See, you already have learned how do you create a parameter. Now that what I have
correct.
did is how you're differentiating your queries to understand what is a parameter. ताकि
Yeah,
आप कल के बाद आपने एक नया रिपोर्ट बना रहे हो या नया डैशबोर्ड बना रहे हो तो आपको
correct.
रेफरेंस कर लिए अगर मान लो यहाँ पे आएंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा अच्छा पैरामीटर मैंने सीखा तो पैरामीटर्स के बारे जानना चाहते हो तो यहाँ पे जाके आप चेक कर सकते हो. So it's easy for you to identify.
Okay. And why did you give output 1, not only out instead of like output only 1 out?
Because there
Because
is
there is
only
only
append
one
one table.
output.
There is only one output. बाकी सब तो outputs हैं, जैसे duplicate and reference, but इसको मैंने use नहीं
Okay.
कर रहा है. Only for your reference to you have created.
ठीक है.
ये जो मैनुअल के नीचे जो टेबल किया था वो हमें मैन्युअली किया, तो इसीलिए हमें यहाँ पे मैनुअल किया. Is it okay with everyone till now? How do you create a group and then move all the queries?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you do this, the reason why we are doing this method. Now, for example, if I want to refresh all these queries, okay. Now, I don't need to refresh everything. Rather, I can do way is I can select this group and refresh alone this particular group. Okay. But again, this will happen the moment once you do it. Like, I mean, you can select all this, click on the refresh preview so that you can refresh only this particular group, or you can refresh only this one, or either you can refresh alone this particular table. So it will be easy for you to refresh these by phase, not all at once. Again, it is up to you, the situation, scenario, whatever it demands. Based upon that, you can do. But if you keep it this way, it is easy for you to identify the tables, and also it is easy for someone else to identify how you have differentiated the data. So it is easy for them to look at that. Like when you're doing some activity, do it in a professional way so that it gives a professional feel. That's the only part. Okay, all right. Shubhamita, you have any issues? Are you there?
Yes, Srikant. What happened was at the moment I'm trying to open my Power BI for day one. I did few steps, but it hanged and then it restarted and everything went blank. And then it was asking me apply changes, discard changes, recovered files, everything crashed. And now my system is shut off.
Is
It's
it
restarting.
okay?
I checked for updates, software updates, Windows updates, everything is updated. And each time I'm open to clicking on the Power BI again, it's again back to zero, completely blank.
Okay. Can you bring this forward to the? Can you share your screen? Let me see.
My laptop, I'm shut off. I'm on my phone.
Oh, everything is gone.
Yeah.
You want to restart the laptop and then come back?
Yes, I'm trying to do that, and that's taking time. So it's been more than half an hour or 1 hour that I'm trying to do this, and I don't know what's happening. I'm waiting for my laptop to just start. I also informed Prabhas sir.
तो चुपचाप रहने के बजाय आप बोल सकते थे यहाँ पे when I'm asking
No,
you
I
in
didn't
between.
want to disturb the flow of the class, in any which ways it's getting recorded, but then
Okay, do one thing.
which
I'll tell
yeah.
you a simple way. Once your system, everything is up, okay?
Yes, I'll inform you.
And you let me know. I'll give you a
Yeah,
simple step where
definitely.
you can match with us. Nothing to worry about
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
I
Thank
mean,
you
this
so
is
much.
also one of the scenarios where you might come across when you are working with a colleague and you have this problem. Probably you can just do a simple methods. Okay.
Yes, because the file that I'm trying to open, the Power BI version, I don't know if it's the version issue or if it's the tool issue or is it my laptop issue. So I'll just
You
restart everything.
do one thing. If you are facing some trouble, you can use the Microsoft Store. Okay,
Okay.
there is
Microsoft Store.
Store.
Okay.
So you have Microsoft Store here. This is an
Okay.
app. You can pin
Yes,
the
it's asking
taskbar.
me, do you want to open Power BI through Microsoft Store, Power BI app?
If
And
you
it's
go to the
completely
Microsoft Store,
becoming new.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you go to the Microsoft Store, then you have an option here where you will see the Power BI within the store. Okay, you can open the Power BI even from here, which will be safe and secure, so that you're not doing it. What is the difference between opening a Power BI from the store or outside? Is very simple. You are downloading an external um, application from Google. Sometimes if your system allows or doesn't allow, or there is some security preferences or anything, if you are unable to use that, you can go to the store, click on the Power BI here. You should see the Power BI desktop version. Okay, so once you click on that, that will open a Power BI desktop. So ये अलग होता है और ये अलग होता है. When I say different, don't worry that functionality or anything. Everything is the same. Only thing is you're opening it from a secure platform of Microsoft. That's it. So anything that happens will be, you can put a blame on Microsoft.
Yeah, and then maybe because my Google Drive is out of space as well. Maybe this it gave me an error. Your Google account is out of failed payment. Like I monthly, there's a payment
Okay,
that
I
I
got it.
pay.
I understand. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's kicking me out of all the applications now. So I'll make that payment now, and then I'll restart and then follow the instructions that you gave me right now from Microsoft Store.
right. So do let me know once your system is up so that we can give you a help hand on that. Okay,
Yes,
don't worry about that.
definitely. Thank you so much. I freaked out. I immediately notified Pravas sir. I'm missing out so much. So I'm like, oh no.
No problem at all. Don't worry about that. Don't get panicky about
Thank
it.
you.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
that is
Thank you.
what I have told you. The beauty of the software is you can start from this. But however, if you are on a standalone project, that is when the issue will be there. But
Mm,
since right now everyone are on using on the same project, so it is
mm,
easy for you to reach out to us. Like can be you can match to our pace very
mm.
sooner the moment once everything is up. Okay,
Yes, yes, sure.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So now where we are, we did the grouping. So did everyone do the grouping?
Shrikant, I have a query actually.
Yes, Namita ji.
Yeah. The thing is that, you know, in the append one for merged queries, we had used trim text, correct?
Right.
So I have to keep that step because the thing is, you said that there can be extra space or something because, you know, I had got the rows in a wrong number. So
Yeah.
should I keep that step because we can apply any other steps in append one? So should I remove it or I should keep it?
You can delete it. Not a problem. You can, if you have learned that, you can just delete it.
Okay.
But there is an option where you can use a trimming in case if there is any issue like that. That is what I just wanted to show you.
Okay. Okay. So that
I
will
mean,
be not an issue, right? Like if
right.
you apply
No,
other
that will not be an
steps.
issue.
Okay.
These are something like the moment once we are teaching in between, if you come across a scenario, I will take that scenario and explain, right? Look, one of the friends had the scenario and this is how you need to decode this.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. I assume that everyone have done this grouping and everyone are good with this grouping now. If you guys have done this, now I want you guys to, with the step that you have learned earlier, which is new source. Okay. I want you to create, or I want you to add few more tables here by using the new source. Click on the Excel workbook and then go back to the data sets. And under the data sets, you will be having few more options where you have left the files. One is country code, currency converter, fact table. So there are three more files which we have left. Okay, which is country code, currency converter, fact table. So I want you to load all these three tables also on the Power BI platform. Okay, Don't go to the consolidate. Don't go to the consolidated one. Only the country code. Open the country code. Click OK. And similarly, once you have the country code here, we'll look into that. So click on the new source again. And then choose the currency converter. Click open. Click OK. So you will see the currency USD converter also updated. Now you have the last one, which is the fact table. Click open. Click on this KPIs. Click on the OK. Then you should see the three new queries, which is country master, USD converter, and the fact table, or the KPIs table added towards each of this query. Now, if you do this activity, load all the three other files, click OK, and then let me know once you guys are ready with these three queries. The one what I put on the message, you need to update them. Okay, Namita is good. Do this. Let me grab some water and come by the time. It shouldn't take much time for you guys.
Srikant, I'm not able to see the query setting the right side properties in my any sheet on the screen.
I'm sorry, it just stepped out. Someone is saying,
Yeah, Srikant,
yeah,
this is Pranjali here. I'm not
yes.
able to see the query setting like the properties on the right side that we do that source and everything, the query setting area that I'm not able to see on my screen. The
Okay,
properties and applied steps and query settings, that complete column is not visible on my screen.
okay, good. Can someone help Pranjali or tell her how does she activate this? Namita should help because Namita faced this issue. Namita, do you remember?
So the merge, the trim, correct?
No. She
Then
says she is unable to see this query settings here.
okay.
So how does she how can she look the query settings? I believe it is you or Shubhamita, I don't remember. Someone have faced this issue in the previous session. Can someone tell her how they can do it? You guys remember?
Oh yes. In view, in the view
Pranjali,
tab,
you can
uh,
do that.
yeah, go to the view tab,
Okay.
and on the left hand side there is query settings. You can click on that.
Mhm. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Very good.
Namita, right? Thank you, Namita.
End of the session, if you follow whatever I say, just say, probably you will become a good on Power BI. Everyone. Thank you, Thank you, Namita. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What happened to boys? You guys are very silent. Sharda, oh, you are keeping mute because I remember it is you or Ashish have a dog. It keeps barking every time. That's why you guys keep silent.
I think Ashish.
आशीष
Sarda, yeah.
हाँ तो शारदा आप क्यों चुप बैठे हो फिर?
नहीं थोड़ा कुछ प्रॉब्लम है जैसा वो लगे कौन अभी बोला था ना कुछ प्रॉब्लम है मैं भी वही प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहा हूँ
क्या प्रॉब्लम
मैं
फेस कर रहे हो?
same thing that when I just opening that document it's asking for this one apply changes discard changes. So last time I just talked to you some problem is there with my system, right?
Okay.
I didn't get time to talk in between. So I need to
Okay.
fix this. Actually, some problem is there in my system. So I don't want to just lose the flow of others because it will waste time for others. So in the meantime, I'll just talk to you after the class.
Okay. How many of you are like that then? How about Shaker, Swapnil? Swapnil, are you there? Okay, he is on silent. Shaker?
Hello.
You're there. Are you good? You are able to load the data?
Yes, I'm in.
Okay. Ashish?
Yeah, I'm unable.
Okay. So can we continue then?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So I presume that you guys have loaded the country master, USD converter, and KPI. And as I told
Yes.
you, each of this table, the moment once you have uploaded, I know that there is a change type step. I want you to guys to remove the change type, please, for each of this query. I don't want the change type to happen here unless and until I want to give, it should not do it. So I'm removing the change type step in every table that I have loaded right now, which is the country master, USD converter, and the KPIs. Now, after you do this is much more easy for you to, how do you adjust these queries? Now, these three queries, what you have loaded are the input queries. Okay, ideally, these are the input queries. But if it is appearing on the output, like how we are seeing right now, what you can do is you can simply drag this table onto the continent so that it will go and sit under the continent group. Like I'm just showing you how easy it is for you to move a particular query from one group to another group.
Okay.
And nothing is going to get hurt or disturbed even if you are not moving it. But at any given point in time, if you want to adjust these, this is how you can adjust. You can move the table from one group to another group very easily by drag and drop. Okay, so if you guys have done this now, let's go to the append1 table one more time. And then right now we are starting the data with the 10 columns. And this is your checkpoint. It should be with the 10 columns. Okay, and on the applied steps, you will have only the source. So from now on, we are going to do the more activity and we are going to see how the data looks like. All right, now give me an understanding about what is the connectivity between append1 table. Okay, what is the connectivity between the append1 table and a KPI table? What is the common point or common column that you find between KPI and append1 table?
Reference ID.
Restaurant ID.
Restaurant
Sorry,
ID.
restaurant ID.
No problem. Yeah, it's a restaurant ID, right?
Yes.
Now, on the KPIs, how many columns do you see?
9.
On the KPI table, how many columns you see?
9 columns.
9 columns. So if you remove the identical column, which is 1 out of it, how many columns you have?
8.
8 columns. Now, the activity for you is, for everyone, the activity for you guys is whatever the 8 columns other than the restaurant ID in the KPA, okay, like average cost for two, currency, and has table booking, online, everything. Whatever the data you see here, every data you see here, okay. Now I want all this data to be in the append one table. So which means if you add the 8 columns in the append one table, your append one table should have 18 columns. Okay. Now I want you to do this activity using the merge query. Got it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I want,
What is to be done, Srikant?
yeah, I'll tell you. If someone can volunteer to share your screen, I'll tell you what you need to do. Anyone?
May I?
Yes, please, Ashish.
Okay, Pranjali.
Oh, Pranjali did. Okay. She
Ashish, you
stopped
do
it.
it, no problem. Every time I take the lead. You can go ahead.
Okay.
I know the
Ashish, please
leaders
do
will
it.
always take the lead. That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me explain it one more time. KPA has got 9 columns. Okay. KPA table has got 9 columns. Okay. Now, out of the 9 columns, leaving the restaurant ID aside, remaining 8 of these columns should be coming. No, that's okay, Ashish. Remaining 8 of the columns should come onto the append one table. This is my target. So your append one table should get 18 columns if you do the activity with the merge query. You understood, Pranjali?
Yes.
Okay. Now Ashish will guide you, or Ashish will guide us. How do you add those 8 columns using the merge query? What we have done. If you remember all the steps, take time, no problem at all. I don't mind, but you need to be good on this. Hmm.
Vikram, just a
Yes.
question.
Hmm.
Um, this is like not regarding the issue that I'm facing here right now still. It's
Hmm.
a separate, like, suppose I have for my team different parameters to measure their scorecard.
Hmm.
Now, can I have all those different segments or files under one Power BI? For example, their attendance, then their trainings, what
Hmm.
they scored, then their knowledge base, like how much did they score on knowledge management. All these segments showing under one Power BI dashboard.
Okay. Uh, all these files, whatever you are talking about, or all these segments, I assume that they
Mm-hmm.
are in different files. Now, all the
Yes.
data of these in different files. Now, is there
Yes.
a common point between all these files?
Employee ID and their names
Okay. Then if you have the common point, yes, you can bring everything.
under one Power BI dashboard, right?
Yes.
So we have to have like a connector, one common field for all files,
Yes. Let's say,
right? Mm,
for example,
mm,
there could be a scenario where
mm,
your
mm.
first 4 files might have got the employee ID.
Correct.
Remaining other columns have only employee names.
Correct.
Then you can still create a connectivity between these two. Like for the files where you have got the employee ID, you will connect with employee ID. For the places where you have got employee name alone, you will connect with the employee name. And yes, when you're doing this, you might face a challenge that names might not be matching here and there. Then
Mm.
you need to first match the names. Then you need to match the bring an employee ID, and that becomes your ultimate goal between all the files. It
Okay.
is a possible activity, and it is 100% possible that you can do it.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Right. Good, Ashish. I could able to see while we are on the conversation, you struggled a bit earlier, but now you could see that you have selected the restaurant ID on the top and then the restaurant ID from the KPI table. And if you do this, you should see the 9551 is matching for all the rows. That's your checkpoint.
Srikant, what I did, I have selected the KPI file, merged with the append one. So exact reverse step I have done, but the same numbers or the same matching status I'm getting.
Obviously, because you will have all the 9551 of 9551 का मतलब ये है कि the first 9551 is referring to the top table.
Yeah, it's matching. But is it okay that if I'm using the
No.
where the Sarda has done append one, there I use the KPI, and the second the table in that box, there is a append one. So I match
No, it
with
is
that.
not
Is that
okay.
okay?
No,
It's not okay.
it's not okay because my target is to bring the data from KPI table to append one table,
Okay. So I need
not
to
from
target
KPI
file
to
is the append one.
yes.
Okay, fine.
So your append one should be there on the top, and then KPI should be in the below.
Okay, got it.
Right, Ashish, you can click on OK. Suppose you click on the OK, you should see there is a new column added. Like as I told you, you need to expand that particular column with the bidirectional arrow. And what you can do is you can simply unselect the first column, which is restaurant ID, and click OK. Now you should see there are 8 columns more added to this append one table. With this, you should have got 18 columns and 99 plus rows.
Yes.
Now, do you think this is very damn easier when you do it on the Power BI when you do some VLOOKUP? You don't need to write VLOOKUP 8 number of times, or you don't need to write all at one shot or do anything, any formula or anything.
Yes.
That's how the Power BI is much more simpler, like simplified when it comes to the VLOOKUP, or here we say it as a merge query. So you can stop sharing the screen and give me a confirmation from everyone if everyone have done. So now you should have got 18 columns of data, everyone.
Yes.
And let me also do. Katie's restaurant ID, and then click on OK.
Your screen is not visible, Srikant.
I'm not yet sharing the screen. I'm just doing it on my screen.
Okay.
Like what you have done. Okay. Now, do you guys see the 18 columns, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's give a chance to Pranjali. Like let her do. Pranjali, you can share the screen now. We have got one more
One
merge
second.
queries. As I told you that you are going to do more number of merge queries here so that you get more and more and more used to this merge query. So you should be good enough to understand how you can do this. All right. Now, before we now onto the next step, as a next step, what we are going to do is now find out what is the connectivity between the append one table and the country master. What is the common column between the country master and append one table?
Country code.
Country code. Very good. Now go to the country master table one more time. Right. So this is again for you, for everyone. इसके पहले ये स्टेप के पहले हमें क्या किया कि append one table और KPI टेबल के बीच में हमें रेस्टोरेंट आईडी फाइंड आउट किया था कि that is the common point. Now when it comes to the country master, the common point got changed again. That is country code, but not the restaurant ID this time. So now you see whenever you are doing the merge query, you are dealing with a different connectivities. Like you are doing a different identical column, but not the same. पहले restaurant ID किया था. Now अभी you are working on the country master. Now on the next one, which is currency converter, you will find something else. So these are the different challenges you might come across with your real-time scenario. Like what I'm just discussing with Shubhomita, like she have data for different people, But in case if the employee ID is not available in all the files, how you can create a connectivity between all the files. So this is one classic example that you can see. Now, before we do, so far what you have learned is a straight case of merge query where you are selecting the data. And here you might come across a scenario. You might come across a scenario where this is a common thing that might happen everywhere. Key in this country master table, if you observe a bit, okay, all the data has been repeated, and there is no point that we need to have a repetitive task. So how do you deal with this scenario? The first thing, can you show us, Pranjali, like how you can remove the blank rows from here?
Yeah, blanks, we have done that
Yeah.
formula in Excel. Mm,
No, first thing, select all the table, all the columns in the table.
all the
How,
columns,
yeah, how do you select all the columns?
Control A.
Right, very good. Now, how do you remove the
Mm.
blank rows from here?
I'll go to Control G, and then in Excel we have done that, but
Pranjali,
should,
welcome to Power BI.
yeah, no. So
यहाँ पे
blanks
ऐसे कुछ कंट्रोल जी कंट्रोल एफ नहीं चलते हैं.
and blanks. Where will it-
We discussed on the previous session, and also today morning I gave you a refresher session. How do you remove a certain rows? Okay, first thing, how do you remove rows? If I want to choose rows,
Here, in the file, remove rows here
very good. Then,
on the
right. Then what are the different
so here
options that you
remove
see?
blank rows here.
Perfect. Click on that.
Mhm. Okay.
Now you have got remove blank rows. Now this
Yeah.
data is free of
Yes.
blank rows. Do you see the
Correct.
complete 100% teal color available?
Yes.
Very good. Now I want you to remove the duplicates also from the table. क्योंकि यहाँ पे duplicates बहुत ज़्यादा हैं.
Remove duplicates again.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Now how many number of rows of data that you see?
15 rows and 2 columns. Yeah.
Very good. 15 rows and 2 columns. So
Mm-hmm.
guys, if you follow Pranjali, you should see the same data. If you have done the remove rows, remove blank rows and remove duplicates from the table, then you should see the same thing. 15 rows with 2 columns. Okay. Apart from Shubhamita and Shekhar.
Done.
Okay. Very good. Ashish and Namita, you are able to do it.
Yeah, done. It's done.
Namita. Namita, are you there? Okay. She might be on BRB. Okay. Namita needs to be admitted. Okay.
Sorry,
Probably
I
her.
have power cut over here.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not really sure till where you have done this.
Actually, we're just explaining about the country master. So
Okay. Country
you have to
master में
merge it
Pranjali.
into append one.
Before you merge it to append one, you need to do this activity on the country master. What Pranjali have done. Probably Pranjali can able to explain you again.
Yes. So Namita, please select both the columns in the country master, column 1 and column 2.
Country master. Okay,
From
you
the
have to
country
merge it.
master, I'll do it again for you.
Yes, yes, please.
Wait a minute, but
You can just
where?
remove the steps one by one.
Yes. Yeah. So Namita, I will select these 2 columns. Control A. Both the columns has got selected. and then you can go to the remove rows. There are blank rows are there, so that remove blank rows we should do. So I removed all the blank rows, and there are some repetitive data or duplicate data also there. So from same the remove rows, I'll remove duplicates. So now again there are the exact data we are getting, that is 15 rows and 2 columns.
Yes. Correct.
All right,
Fine.
we are good.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, now that your task is to add these, okay, instead of the country codes, I want the country names to be appeared onto the append1 table. Okay, the country names to be onto the append1 table. So how do you do that?
So we'll do the merge queries again here.
Right, but where you are gonna do, on the country master or append1?
No, in the append1.
Great, please do.
Append1, merge queries. Then I'll select the country names column. Where is the country names? Why the country names is not visible
What is
here?
the common point between both the columns? What is not there and what is that you are going to achieve?
Country code.
Country code.
Then you need to select the country code.
Okay. And here
आपको
from the
append1 table में country का नाम नहीं है, तो you are bringing the country name from the country master, right? So what will you do? You need to select the table from the below, which is country table first. Country master.
wait, let me. Okay. We're supposed to merge, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh. So both the columns I'm supposed to select or what?
Why do you have to select both the columns? So you're doing a comparison between apple to orange, not an apple to apple earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is an
So,
apple to apple comparison.
yeah.
See, at any given point in time, for this particular data alone, you will see that 9551 rows should always match everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now click on OK. You should see a new column added.
Correct. Country
Now
master is
expand
there.
that. So you need to unselect the country code and then select only the country here. क्योंकि country code भी select किया होगा तो country का column फिर से add होगा, फिर वो duplicate बन जाएगा.
True.
So now how many columns you have got now?
19 columns and 999 plus rows.
Perfect. So if everyone does this activity in a proper way, then you should have got only 19 columns so far. Now this is your checkpoint. And let me know in case if you are not seeing 19 columns, something else, let us know.
Done.
Very good. I could say Namita have done this, and then Ashish also gave me a confirmation. I believe everyone are good on. We are good. All right. So Ashish did this, and then Namita, now you want to share your screen. Now you can do this activity, help others.
Okay.
When you
Shall
start
I
sharing,
stop sharing?
yes, when you start sharing the screen and then you try to show, you're a bit nervous, Pranjali. I could see.
No.
फिर जब मैंने बोल रहा था आपने you're giving the suggestions like this, like on the merge query you should select this that, but when you're doing it you could not able to do.
Yeah, a
But
little
good,
bit.
yeah, that's what I told you. Yeah, no, I understand that. That's okay. That happens with everyone. All right. So now the second thing is, can you tell me what is the connectivity between the append one table and the USD converter table? What is the connectivity between the append one and the USD converter?
Continent.
Continent. And anything else apart from continent?
Restaurant ID.
Restaurant ID, is it? USD converter का table में कितना columns है?
USD 3 columns.
3.
So now tell me how many columns are there in out of all the 3, how many columns are there in the append one table?
1.
Ah,
Yeah, only the continent, right?
Uh,
is it?
continents is there. Currency is also there.
फिर इसको कैसे भूल गए?
Yes, currency.
Never
This is what
forget
I to
currency.
detail. This is what it is called, the eye to detail. Okay, very good. So now you have got around 2 columns which are matching. Now if you go to the now the point is what we are going to achieve with that. From the USD converter, there is a column called 2USD. So there is a value in the 2USD column. Those data should be appearing onto the append one table. Okay. Now, okay. The target is we need to bring the USD value into the append one table. However, there is a challenge here. The challenge here is in the USD converter table, you have got 2 different columns. See, this is one of the scenarios you will come across when you are doing on your Excel. तो क्या होगा कि you might find duplicate lines. Let's say, for example, Asia have different currencies, Africa have a different currency. But if you could see that NAM, Oceania, and SAM, okay, not that one, probably, yeah. In Asia, you have a dollar, and also you have, yeah, if you go to the USD converter, Asia have a dollar value. Along with that, Oceania also have a dollar value. Along with that, NAM is also having a dollar value. Okay. And in Excels, what you might come across every time is Asia will have different values. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, if I give the same scenario in Excel, what is your understanding? How will you achieve or how will you bring this USD dollar value, which is exactly an apple to apple comparison into the append one table? In a real time scenario, how do you deal this? You understand what I'm saying? If you go with the continent column, you have got Asia, but Asia is repeated more number of times. But your challenge is you might, not every time the Asia will have only Botswana Paula currency. Okay, it might also have the dollar value. It might also have another value which is AED, Indian rupee, and then Indonesian rupee. So in Excel, if you do this activity, how will you do it? Any ideas?
We will find another similar parameters.
Okay, if you find another similar parameter, how do you deal the situation?
In that situation, we can use VLOOKUP with that similar parameter.
Okay, but in VLOOKUP, can you write a similar parameter like that?
No.
Then what is your other call there? What's your call?
To convert all the values to dollar?
Sorry.
Just to convert all those values to dollar values.
Values all into dollar, but how do you bring a connectivity between those two tables?
Replace the to the values, replace the same to the values, like.
Okay, something you are replacing, then it doesn't work out because you are losing the focus on the main part. So how? अगर मान लो आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा है जो मैंने बोल रहा हूँ, तो मैं आपको यहाँ पे डेमो दिखा सकता हूँ कि see, I have Asia here, I have Asia here. Okay. Now I have got rupee, dollar, and dirhams. Okay. And I have got an each of the value like this. Now on the another table, I have got Asia. Let's say I have got Asia with these three again repeated in another table. Now I want to bring the values like 1, 2, 3 and here. So can I use a VLOOKUP?
Should I stop sharing? We cannot
Sorry,
see.
Shrikant, your screen is
Yeah,
not.
Sorry.
your screen is not visible. Yeah.
Sorry. Let me share the screen. My bad. Right. On Excel, I have got a table like this, which is Asia, a rupee, and there is a value here like this. Okay. On one particular sheet. And another sheet, I have data like this. Now I need to bring values like 1, 2, and 3 here. How do I bring this?
In merge, right?
What kind of merge?
The first data will be merged into the second one. The second one also will be similar like first one.
What is that merging called?
Merge queries.
नहीं एक्सेल में आप कैसे करोगे? पावर बीआई के बारे छोड़
अच्छा.
दो पहले. आप भाई एक्सेल में कैसे करोगे?
You said welcome to Power BI, so I was thinking about the Power BI only.
Okay, switch back to Excel for a while. Now tell me.
Okay,
No problem.
लक्ष्मी, अगर हम यहाँ पे एशिया रेफरेंस सेल की वजह से हम रुपीस को रेफरेंस सेल लेंगे, एल कॉलम जो है, सो वहाँ पे भी लुकअप लगा के हम रुपीस का, डॉलर का और दिरहम्स की वैल्यू यहाँ पे ले सकते हैं.
Very good. I like that idea. Now let's make it bit of complicated here. Okay. Now the complication will be like this. Suppose, for example, I have got Europe with a dollar. I know Europe is based on pounds, but simple scenario. Now I have got 4 and 5 value here. Now let's say, for example, if I'm using the same thing here. Now tell me, how do I do that?
We have done this actually.
Okay, do one thing. Let the I'll give you a short break. You want to think over it and then come back? I know we have already crossed 12 बजे मैंने break देना है, भूल ही गया मैंने. I'll give you around 10 15 minutes break. Think about it.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, coffee piyo, kuch bhi karo. Keep thinking about this, how we can bring up. Okay.
Okay.
Think and let me know.
Sure.
Let's go for a short break. Yeah.
So Srikant, Google help is allowed or not?
Google?
Can they take the help of Google?
No, not required at all.
No, I mean, That is
Okay.
allowed or not, because
Okay. TK, you can Google it also, no problem at all. Just Google and
right,
let me know.
right. That's a good one.
Sometimes I'm so adamant about not using Google, but still, yes, go ahead, try your best.
Phone a friend
All
is
you need
also allowed,
is,
na?
yeah, anything. Do any option. You can call Prabhas and ask like, how do you do it? You can do
No,
anything.
I'm not available. I'm in another meeting. Sorry.
So just tell me.
Really?
You, so just tell me you have a scenario like this. So when you have a scenario like this, how do you get the values? If you are good at this, I will tell you the difference because you need to understand the difference. That's the only thing. Okay. Right. So just go for a break and then come.
My system restarting now.
No problem, Sharda. I mean, Shubham. Yeah. Sorry. No problem.
Thank you.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm able to hear. Okay, so hope we can kickstart the session again. Okay, so you guys got the answer?
Yes, Lakshmi. We can add one helper column in between. Can you please share your screen?
Yeah, I'm doing
So
it.
that
You're able to see the screen now. Okay, now tell me.
okay. So add one column as a helper.
Mm-hmm. Where do I add it?
Yes, yes. Here, in between G and H.
Okay.
So we can put here formula is equals to
Mm.
uh, Asia F
Mm.
column first one and
Okay.
double inverted comma, sorry, double in double quote, no uh,
Where do you have to go with the double quote when you're almost
after and person sign,
okay?
F4 and space,
Okay.
again double quote
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
rupee. Okay,
Like
enter.
this.
So drag this formula.
Okay. So what do you say this called?
So here's and in n column.
Okay.
सो हमने क्या किया इसे कौन मीन्स जॉइन करके एक यूनिक वैल्यू यहाँ पे क्रिएट कर ली. सो
Right.
सो यहाँ पे अभी हम वी लुकअप लगेंगे इज इक्वल्स टू.
Okay. So, but what do you say this called? What do you say this?
सो हमें एक यूनिक वैल्यू चाहिए थी जिसके अलग अलग वैल्यूज है मीन्स वन. हाँ, सो नहीं नहीं यहाँ पे वी लुकअप लगाना है एन कॉलम
Ah.
में इज इक्वल्स टू
Okay.
वी लुकअप. हाँ, लुकअप वैल्यू एशिया, एल कॉलम में का एशिया एड परसेंट डबल कोट स्पेस डबल कोट एड परसेंट रूपी कॉमा एच कॉलम से आई कॉलम तक सिलेक्ट करना है पूरा डेटा.
Okay.
कॉमा
Okay.
2 कॉमा 0 ब्रैकेट क्लोज.
Right. So very good. Now, what is that you have done?
सो हमने एक कॉलम ऐड किया है जिसमें हम यूनिक वैल्यू, हमारे पास यूनिक वैल्यू नहीं थी, मींस यूनिक रेफरेंस आईडी नहीं था. सो दैट्स व्हाई हमने हेल्पर कॉलम यूज करके जो एच कॉलम क्रिएट किया वो एज अ हेल्पर किया,
Right.
जो हमें हेल्प कर रहा था एक रेफरेंस यूनिक रेफरेंस वैल्यू क्रिएट करने के लिए.
तो इसका मतलब यह है इसको concatenate किया था.
राइट राइट.
इसको कहते हैं कंकैटिनेशन. सो
यस
कंकैटिनेट
यस
करके हमें एक यूनिक वैल्यू बनाया और उस यूनिक वैल्यू को हमें यहाँ पे रेफरेंस किया एंड इसके हिसाब से हमको वैल्यूज आए. राइट.
राइट राइट.
All right. So do you guys agree with this concept, everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Pranjali, looks like she is not here. Okay. All right. So if you agree to this concept, okay, now in Excel, you are doing this method of adding one more column and then doing the reference. Now, when it comes to the Power BI, do you expect the same thing? Since we have got in append one table, we have got a country master name and we also have the currency. Okay. Now, is it okay that we can create a concatenation column here and then do it? Like in the country master also, we have got this and this. So we can create a concatenation here and create a like a helper column, like whatever you mentioned. Silence.
Country, yes, the country.
Now, like what you have done on Excel,
Uh-huh.
like what you have done in Excel, you can create a column like this and then do it the same thing in the append one
Append.
also, so that yes, in append one you have got the country code and then you have got the currency and the country name also you have got. So we can do the
Yes,
same
yes.
way, or the
Uh,
continent and currency.
yes, we can.
Sorry, I referred to the wrong one. Extreme, sorry. The USD converter I meant. USD converter में continent है, country currency है.
हाँ, सो यहाँ पे वन मोर कॉलम ऐड करके हम इसे कॉन्टिनेंट कर सकते हैं, कॉन्टिनेंट और करेंसी को.
Right. Right. So you can do that concatenation, but this is where that becomes a tedious process in Power BI. Okay? Power BI में क्या होगा कि that becomes so much tedious if you do that process. So that is the reason why I'm asking you, like, if you do that in an Excel because there is a methodology that is the only way that you need to follow. But in Power BI, you do not have that. So there is a simple way. Append one, I'll go to the append one and I'll go to the click on the merge query. Okay, I'm going to the click on the merge query. After I click on the merge query, now here I'm going to select the USD converter. Now the question is, how do you create a concatenation? Okay. Instead of doing the concatenation, the easier way that you can do is on the top from the append one table, select the continent first. Okay. And also select the continent from the second table. Now this is matching. Continent to continent is matching.
Yes, it's matching.
Where it says 9551 is matching. However, now that what we need to do is we need to also give the currency. So I'm going to hold the control button on my keyboard. I'm going to hold the control button on my keyboard. And now I'm going to select the KPI currency from the append one table and the currency from the USD converter table. Now with this, when I do this way, do you observe there are numbers here?
Yes.
So what does this mean? This means the merge query is actually first matching the continent first, and then second it is matching the currency. So apple to apple comparison, it does. So which means it will connect as Africa Rand. It will connect as Asia Botswana Paula. So Asia Botswana Paula will be automatically searched. So now when I do this, you should also see the number as 9551. So which means we are in a good shape. So when I click on OK, so the value which is exactly assigned to that will be only appearing here. So now I'm going to unselect all this and select only 2 USD and then keep it here. Okay. I already have done that. That's why there is a duplicate. So now you can see how it has been done earlier. I just selected both the columns from both the tables. So that is where you can see the match. You got it, everyone?
Yes.
So Excel में जैसे किया था हमें इतना वर्क अराउंड करने का जरूरत ही नहीं. But in Power BI, the best method that you can do is you'll use the same merge queries window, but rather what you are doing is you are selecting two different columns for two different comparisons. So based on these two comparisons, that is where you will see the value, or you can achieve the value in that direction. So once you do this job, you should have got 20 columns now, everyone.
Srikanth, we will select the append one and then we'll do the merge queries, right? In these, and then we'll do the current country code and currency code, right?
Yes, you will select the currency USD converter, and then
okay.
You are going to select both the columns, continent to continent, like this. Continent to continent, and then currency to currency.
Okay, just give us 2 minutes.
So you need to press the control key while you are selecting both the cases. That is when you will see the numbers.
Yes.
So once you do that successfully, you should be able to see all the 20 columns now on the table.
And now we have to deactivate the continent and currency. We have to keep it only USD, no? When we
Yes.
expand this? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. All right. So you guys got it? Ashish, Namita, Shekhar, and everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now you have learned merge queries both in two different directions. One as a single comparison or multiple comparison also. This is how you can do. So if you have got 4 or 5 different parameters like that, and then you need to do a 4 or 5 parameters comparison, you can do it the same way. But that is where you should see the results. Okay. All right. So far now we have dealt with the scenarios, different scenarios. Now let's look at one more scenario. Sorry. Okay. So now let's look at one more scenario. This scenario is, now that we have got an information like USD converter. Okay. Basically what happens is at any given point in time, sorry, at any given point in time, each of the continent have different currency levels. But when you are showcasing this data to someone, to the users, if there is a common currency across everyone, that works better, because I would follow the Indian rupee, you would follow another dollar, someone else might follow a pound value. But if I'm giving the stats will be totally different, or I would say that will not be a stable one. It differs between every currency. So for that reason, what we have done is we created a common currency called the USD converter. But when we are also giving according to the USD converter value, we also need to ensure that we have values according to that. So when I'm talking about this, in the append one table, there is a column where you have got KPI, so average cost for 2 people, but it is given in their own currencies. Okay, it is given in their own currency. Now that what we need to do is we need to do or convert this number of average cost for 2 to the USD dollar, so that they will be in a according to the USD currency. Okay. Now, in order to do this a simple activity, what is a mathematical way? How do we achieve this result? You understood my question? There is a currency given for each of the continent. Okay. Now I only need to convert this to the USD converter. I have a USD value also for each of this currency. How do I convert it into a dollar value mathematically? You guys understood the question, or you didn't understand, or you guys are more silent? Kya hua?
Lakshmi, I'm trying to calculate that.
No, just tell me a simple way. Your Indian rupee needs to be converted into USD dollar. How do you do that? Don't tell me Google. Just tell me how you know. Like mathematically, how we can do it. I will say 1 Indian rupee is equal to 70 USD dollar. Okay. Now I have
Right.
got 10 rupees. So how many USD dollars I have?
So we divide that USD dollar to rupee.
Okay, let me put it this way. Maybe my question is wrong. I'm sorry. 1 USD dollar is equal to 70 rupees. Understand this. 1 USD dollar is equal to 70 rupees. I have got 700 rupees. So how many number of dollars I have?
You have one currency rate is 1 rupee is equals to 70 rupees, right?
Very simple, Baba. Why do you take it so complicated?
Simple multiplication, right? We can do,
Wait,
yeah, 70 to 700.
that is what I'm asking you. That is
Yeah.
what I'm asking you. Why you are so silent?
49,000.
Whatever be it, that's okay. I'm not asking you
The
what
process is
exactly
a
is the number.
simple multiplication. Yeah.
Okay.
What is that you do?
Multiply 70 into
Simple
700.
multiply. Yeah.
You are doing a simple multiplication, correct? Now that is
Correct.
what we are going to do the same thing here. You have got average cost for the two for each of the local currency. Now that what we are going to do is we have a USD converter dollar. Now we are going to convert this into a single one, USD dollar. How do you do that is a multiplication. So how do I do that? Here in Power BI, how you can do this activity. So now I'm going to go to the add column tab, and under the general group, I'm using a custom column again. Okay, we did this activity earlier by adding a continent name. Now that we are going to add a simple multiplication. So I created a new column and I give the column here as USD cost in USD.
Value.
Okay, I created a new column. I'm creating a new column here by going to the add column, and under the general group, I have custom column. I clicked on the custom column and then I gave a new name called cost in USD. Now I know that it is pretty well a simple multiplication. So how do I do that is
Into
I'll click,
inverted double quotes.
yeah, first I'll select this column, average cost for two, give space, give a star, give a space. But if you look at this particular bit, what I'm doing right now, you will see there is a red mark here. This denotes that the formula is incomplete. So you're still in progress of doing the formula. Okay. So you will see only two colors. One is gray color, one is red color. So gray color say that your formula is okay so far. Okay. Now I'm giving into star, so which is still in progress. So it is in the red color. Now that what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the last column, which is USD converted to USD. So this column multiplying this particular column should give me an answer. This is what I'm expecting. And when I click OK, you should see the number here. Got it, everyone?
Yes, got it.
Yes.
All right. So now,
Let's do first.
yeah.
Yeah, we are doing it. We were just observing, no?
Okay. Okay. So you do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys have done this, okay, you should see the results now. Now, what I want you guys to do is this cost in USD, whatever the column that you have created, I want you guys to convert this to a number format. Right now it is in the text format. Wherever it says ABC123, which means it is in a text format or a general format, which is not yet detected. So I'm going to select this here and I'm going to click on decimal number. So when I click on the decimal number with this, you should see that there is a change type step added. Along with that, you will also see the count in USD becomes 1.2. So this denotes this is in a decimal number. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now that what we are doing is we have got enough information here wherein it says the cost in USD and remaining everything looks good. So we are good to go with the report. But before we go to the report, click on Control S, everyone, and then click on Apply Later. So this should ensure that we are on a good page. So your database or so far whatever you have done is not corrupted, or you will see if you see any error message, do let me know. If not, we are good.
Okay. Done.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we have got everything information ready on the FN1 table. So we are with the 21 columns as a checkpoint. Now we should be good with the 21 columns on the FN1 table. Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's think in this way. Now we have done enough information on the Power Query editor that we have got all the data. Now let's see how we can load this data onto the Power BI screen and how do we go ahead with. So before we do this, what I want you guys to do is we'll discuss one more topic and then work on the Power BI. So now everyone, once you have done this, click on the Home tab, and under the Home tab, under the Close group, you will see the first option called Close and Apply. Okay. I want you guys to click on Close and Apply, everyone. The moment once you click on the Close and Apply, you should see, you don't touch anything, click on the Close and Apply. You should see this window called Load, and all the tables should be loading without any errors. Once you see these messages like creating connection in the model, then post which it will tell you the total number of KB or amount of the file. So which means if you are looking at that, ideally that denotes you are good and your data is getting loaded properly and without any errors or without any issues. So once it is done, it will automatically close the window, and then you will see the Power Query window open here with a blank canvas. And on the right hand side, you will see all the fields.
Yeah.
So just give me a confirmation if you guys are done so far and without any trouble, because this is essential.
Yes. Done.
Done.
Okay. All right. So now successfully we have arrived to the Power BI window. Okay. Now on the Power BI window, we'll start looking at what exactly we are doing. Now you will see there are three different options here. okay, on the Power
Yes.
BI window. The first thing,
Yeah.
this is called the report view. And the second one, this is called the data view. Okay. And the third one is called the model view.
Mhm.
So you will have three different models, three different views. Okay. Report, data, and model view. So keep this in mind. Once your Power Query editor, so your data, loading of the data, and then transforming of the data and cleaning of the data, everything will happen only on your Power Query editor. So at any given point in time, whenever you want to go back to the Power Query editor, the option is available to you, which is the transform data. Click on the transform data, that will take you to the Power Query editor. Just in case you want to do any changes there or add any additional things, you will do that. And once you have loaded every information, or once your data is ready, and once you feel we are good to go with, then you'll click on the close and apply. That will take you back to the Power BI window by loading all the queries that you have done so far. Okay. Now on the Power BI window, what is that you need to understand? The first thing, as I told you, the report view, which we are going to talk about this more, and the data view, which also we are going to talk on the further topics, and on the model view. Now we are talking about the model view, everyone. If you click on the model view, okay, we should be on the model view screen. So when you click on the model view, you will see here a lot of models here. Okay.
Mm.
Now, when I say a lot of models, this is nothing but whatever the tables that you have defined so far will appear here. Okay. And I know this window is a bit more bigger. I mean, truncated. It's not truncated right now, but it is expanded more. So now let's do a simple thing. What we are going to do is select any one of the table from here, or the model. Select any one of the box. That's what we call it as model. Anyone, whatever you see, select that table. And once you select the table, click on Control A. Once you
Yeah.
select the table and Control A, you should see all the models are truncated and they are minimized, and then you are able to see everything.
Correct.
Okay. Now that
Mm.
we are just going to also do a bit of zoom. Before you do this, do you see connectors between all the tables, everyone? Some table
Yes.
मतलब मेरा
Yes.
कंट्रोल ले करने के बाद एक्टिविटी नहीं हो रही है।
सेलेक्ट करना है पहले, कुछ एक तो सेलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा।
हाँ, एक सिलेक्ट किया KPIs,
सेलेक्ट करके कंट्रोल ए दबाओ, ऑटोमेटिकली रिड्यूस हो जाएगा। Is it done?
it's done.
Good, good. And also you will see a lot of connectors. So now we are going to discuss more about this connectors and why, how these connectors are coming in between. Okay. So before we go to the connectors, I want you to right click, because right now they are already in the selection mode. So that's why you could see they are yellow highlighted. If not, you can select again one of the model, and then Control A. They will be in the selection mode, which is in the yellow color. Right click, and then you can select the option called collapse all. So that will just reduce the box.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how you can expand it or collapse it.
Mm.
Now we are going to learn everything from here. What does it say? Just watch, look at my screen, and then I'll show you each and everything how we are doing it. So what I'm doing is I'm just increasing this bit ahead. I'm just increasing this a bit, which means I'm zooming in. Okay. And before I do this, there is an option here called, under the home tab, under the relationships, there is an option called manage relationships. Okay. Click on the manage
Mhm.
relationship. So it will open a new window.
Yeah.
And once you see the new window, I want you to select everything by selecting Control A within that particular table and click on the delete option. So once you click on the delete, everything goes off So which means ideally once you click on the close button, you will see all the connectors are gone. There are no connectors. All the tables,
No.
all the blocks
How
will
we
be
will select Control A on the tab that box?
all right. I'll go to the manage relationship first, and within that I'll select Control A. I'll select any one of the probably the row and then select Control A and then click on delete. So there will be one more message box. Do you want to delete or ensure everything? Click on that. And once you click on the close box, you should see the connectors are gone.
Yeah,
Right?
correct.
All right. So now after you do this job, now what we are doing is we are going to create, or I'm just going to expand this bit more, zoom in more. And then first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything here like Zomato Asia. You see, I'm just doing this, line by line. I'm keeping all the continents on the left hand side, collecting all the continents. But this is a manual activity. Every time you need to do a kind of a manual activity. So I'm just expanding this. ठीक है रहने दो कोई problem नहीं. Zomato Asia, and then I'll find out where is Africa here. Somewhere it should be. We have got Oceania, Europe. Right, Africa. I'm just bringing this Africa table on the top. I know this is a bit of manual activity, as I told you.
All the models we need to bring at the left, right?
Yeah, not all the models, all the continents. Bring all the continents like Asia, Africa,
Okay.
and then Europe, and then Oceania, and then Nam and Sam. Where is this Nam and Sam? Okay, Nam is here. I mean, you don't need to worry about the space or anything. Just bring everything on the left hand side so that it is easier. So you'll understand what is this model view, how you can understand the model view. Okay, so continents on the left hand side, and then what we will also do is we are going to keep the KPIs in between. I'm going to put the KPIs, and then reference co, you can move it aside. We don't require the reference. And I'm bringing the USD converter like this. And then I'm also bringing the country master on the top. And once this is completed, then I'll bring the append one. And then reference will be in between and duplicate in between like this. And I have got the table. So I'll just keep the table here below the continent. Okay. So when I see this, now you should see this is how your data should look like. So on the left hand side, you will see the continents, wherein Asia, Africa, Europe, Oceania, Nam, Sam, and then table, which all the seven tables. And onto the right hand side, you will see the KPA, currency code, and the country master. And next to that, you will see the append one, duplicate, and the reference table. And once you do that, you can zoom in the screen. This becomes 100%, so you can just keep it.
In the middle, KPI, USD converter, and which one?
Country master.
Okay.
So this more looks like we are framing a dashboard now, slowly.
Yeah, but this is still not yet a dashboard. This is just a model that
Mm,
you're talking about. So this concept, what you're
yes.
going to learn is completely different. But
Mm,
as I told you that this will be related, why you have to understand this model view.
correct. My system is still having errors.
Oh, okay.
It restarted again.
Throw the system aside.
Yes, I need to, I think, do
Time to
something
change
with
your
the.
system.
It's more than 5 years.
Shrikant, where to
Oh,
put the reference? In the middle or the right side?
Right hand side,
Okay.
under the append one, duplicate and reference on one particular line.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Right. If everyone did this job, now let's. Okay. Just everyone are ready, so we can move to the topic.
Yes.
Okay. So before we move to this topic, just keep a note within yourself, like follow whatever I'm talking here, because this is most important and very important. Otherwise, around what happens is if you miss this particular bit, you'll get confused about when I'm talking about what is this joint that I'm talking about. And pretty simple concept and pretty easier concept. You don't need to get so worried about it. Honestly, this is a very simple. It's just that you need to concentrate what exactly you are looking at. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll just go back to the Excel for a moment so that it is easy for me to explain what is that I'm talking about. Okay. Here, let me explain you all the topics. And once I explain this, now you correlate this back to your model, you should be able to easily identify. Maybe I'm expecting that you might become a master there when you are talking about this. You don't need to do this. I'll let me just do and then show. Okay. And we have got a restaurant ID. We have got country master. We have got USD converter. Okay. And also let me put in one here. Not here. Let's just not put it. Okay. Now, what we have done so far is we have got data from Asia, Africa, Europe, Oceania. These are different continents. And we brought the data from all these tables. And then we created an append one table. So now, do you agree, everyone, this append one table is a mixture of Asia, Africa, and Europe and everything?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now, so far, now you understood. Now, yes, Ashish or Shekhar, someone, you guys have got any question?
No.
Okay. All right. So these are independent tables, which are 6 independent different tables. And all these 6 different independent tables are actually connected to one single table, which is called the append one. Okay. Now, when I'm connecting this to the append one, so I'm saying from here to here, so from Asia table, that I have got the append one. This is what you have learned or did this so far. Okay. Now that what I want is, tell me how do you have connected this Asia to append one table, through which means? Like what is the common between Asia and append one now?
Continent.
Mm. Anything else? Okay, what is the unique value between Asia table and the append one table?
It's a continent, right?
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll not use this. Let me use this file. Okay, this is an append table what you guys have created. So I'm just creating one pivot table here. So now tell me, for each of the rest, for each of this continent here, instead of count of the continent, what I would say, see, this is the restaurant ID. Okay, a restaurant ID is a unique factor in each of the continent. So if I look at the restaurant ID, do you see this is a, I need to put it as a count. Now, do you see this is what the table actually you have looked into earlier? You see, when you loaded NAM, there are 438 rows of data, and Europe you have got 80 rows of data. Asia 8849, right? So this is called the restaurant ID. So which means the restaurant ID is unique in each of this table. Do you agree?
Correct. Yeah.
Now let's say, for example, when I look all these, when I put all these into a single table, okay, and I called it as append one. I called it as append one. Now within append one also you will see for each of the continent that we have loaded all the information together. So do you see, if you look at the table, मतलब ये Africa table अगर अलग देखोगे, so this is going and merging into append one table, but still it is carrying all the 60 restaurant IDs which are unique.
Yeah.
Correct. See, you are looking at different tables. So what I meant to say, so here I'm saying only Asia, and here I'm saying only Africa. And then here this is only Oceania, and then Europe, NAM, and then this is SAM. So these are actually the individual tables. So pehle you have worked like this, right? So now you see that these are the tables, different tables, right? On the left hand side, whatever you see, these are the different tables. See, Asia is a different table, Africa is a different table, but Asia have got around 8,849 restaurant IDs. Africa have got around 60 restaurant IDs, and then Oceania. So all these are put together into append one, and then this is where you will see a single table with different restaurant IDs. Now till here you understood this particular bit, what I'm talking?
Yes.
Okay. Now what is common between these two? All these tables and this one, what is common now?
Restaurant ID.
Restaurant ID is a common thing, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, can you tell me if I have to define this as a line in a subjective manner? If I have to define, what is the relation between the Asia and append one now? It is called one-to-one relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? This is
Okay.
called one-to-one with append one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why this is one-to-one relationship, see, usually we have got relationships. Okay. If you have not heard about this, or this is the first time you are hearing, this is the best lesson that you can understand. Now, this concept of whatever I am explaining about the relationships, okay, this remains same across any application that you use. Either it is Oracle, either it is C++, or either you are talking about Java or anything. Wherever you have the tables, and when you are trying to connect or give a sync between two different tables, the concept of whatever I'm talking about will remain the same across any application around the world. Okay, around the technology world, you will see this. So there are relationships like one-to-one relationship, and one we can say one-to-many relationship, or many-to-one relationship, or many-to-many relationship. Okay, there are four relationships mainly: one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many. But what when you are defining the relationship, the way you are the methodology you are approaching will be different. What it does mean now, from each of this continent, okay, so I will give you from each of this continent to append one table is a one-to-one relationship. Why? Reason: in continent, you see the restaurant ID, they are connected through restaurant ID. Okay, the commonality between append one and continent is the restaurant ID. Now the restaurant ID data remains unique in Asia table, unique in Africa table. There are no duplicates here. You understand what I'm talking? There are no
Yes.
duplicates. So because of that, there is no duplicate. Okay, and they remain unique value, and they are connecting through the restaurant ID. When they are put into a append one table, the continent to append one becomes one-to-one relationship, which means each row from the continent is connecting to each row in the append one table.
Yes.
You understood this bit?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I ask you guys the same question in a different manner. How is append one connected to continent table? What kind of relationship it might be there?
So broad, like broad, not one-to-one, but it can be the broader one.
Okay, can it be one to many or many to one? See,
Many
continent
to
to
one.
append one is becoming one-to-one relationship. Okay. Now I'm asking you the question in a reverse way. When I
Many to one.
Okay, why many to one? What is your answer in understanding why it is a many to one?
In append one, there are many continents,
Mm-hmm.
but when it is relationship with Asia or Africa, it is one, right?
Good point. Let me put it this way. Append one, you have got multiple continent tables. In continent, you have multiple continents. But the question is, through restaurant ID, you are connecting.
Mm-hmm.
Your unique ID from the append one to connect to the continent is a restaurant ID. Now, looking in that direction, what will be your relationship?
One to many.
How come one to many?
Because restaurant ID is common in everything. So one to many, because then there are different continents, right?
So which means different continents have different restaurant IDs, all right? This becomes
Okay.
one-to-one relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Why? When you are looking the direction of Asia to append 1, each restaurant row is connected to each restaurant row in the append 1. Okay? So that is a one-to-one. Now when you look in the reverse direction also, append 1 is connected to the continents, each of the continent row through only one particular row. That's why it is called one-to-one relationship.
Okay.
What does that mean? What does that actually mean in? When I look at the data here, in the data view, if you look at this, see, I have got Zomato Asia. Okay, let's say Zomato Africa. So when I look at the Zomato Africa, I have got 60 rows of data here. Okay, each of the 60 rows are going into the append 1. So they are one-to-one relationship. Similarly, just imagine when I look at the methodology, like when I have the append 1 table with 9,551 rows, when I split only the Africa continent, I'll have got 60 rows here.
Correct.
When I filter for the continent here, I'll just get only 60 rows. Where is the continent here? Didn't I put the continent here? Here, somewhere it is lying. See, when I click on the Africa here, in the append 1 table, don't I get only 60 rows of data? 60 filtered rows here. Right? But I'm connecting through restaurant ID. So restaurant ID becomes 60 in number, which is unique in data. So that's why it becomes one-to-one relationship.
Okay.
First thing, are you clear with the one-to-one relationship? Each row is connecting to each row.
Yes.
समझ गया ना यहाँ तक? Okay.
Yes.
Let's move on to the next one, which is a bit of deeper insights of it. Now, apart from this, in the append 1, along with this, what else we have added? We also have added one more data point. What is that? From the KPI, from the KPIs, okay, here there is a KPI table that you guys have added. So this is a KPI table. So in the KPI table, you have got average cost, currency, and everything, correct? Now, what is the common point between KPI and append 1 that you have connected?
Currency.
No? Okay, I'll go to the transform data. If not, this is confusing. I'll go to the transform data. So when I go to the transform data, what is the commonality between the KPI and append 1?
Restaurant ID.
Restaurant ID. So which means the KPI table have got around 9,551 rows of data, which is all the 9,551 are unique in nature, which means they are restaurant IDs. Now tell me, if I ask you KPI to append 1 table, what relationship it becomes?
So again, one-to-one, right?
It's a one-to-one relationship.
One-to-one.
Append 1, from append 1 to KPI, what will be the relationship?
Same.
One-to-one relationship.
Yeah.
Correct. Let's look into the next one, which is what else we have added here. We took the data from KPI. Along with it, we took the data from country master. Correct? Country master data and append 1. What is the common point between country master and append 1?
Country code.
Country code.
Country code. So keep this in mind. Now tell me, imagine and tell me append 1 to, or let's say country master to append 1. What relationship will be there?
One-to-one.
One-to-one only.
Okay. Again, remember this point. I am updating the country master. Okay. Which means I'm writing a VLOOKUP formula or merge query on the country master. When I'm writing the merge query on country master, picking up the data from append 1, what kind of relationship it will be there through the country code?
So you are going to merge the data, right? From append 1 to country master.
Okay, let me put it this way then. Let me keep it much more easier. So let me use a delimiter. I'll not confuse it. From, I'll just mention it from, to, and relationship. Yeah, relation. I don't mind even if I'm wasting a bit time on this, like dragging, but this concept you need to really understand so that it is easier. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why. Append 1, continent. Country, KPA.
KPI, yeah.
Country.
Country master.
Okay. So now always imagine this way. Always imagine this way. Okay. Whatever I am saying, just imagine. When I say from to, okay. When I say from to, you know this merge queries you did, right? So when I correlate this from to, see in one of the merge queries I'm just expanding. This append 1 on the top becomes from, and this KPI become to. Understand what I'm saying? Append 1 becomes from, and then this is to. Okay. Suppose if the KPI is from, which means KPI will be on the top, and then append 1 will be on the 2. You remember, Pranjali, you did this on the other way around.
Yes,
first.
I have done the reverse one. Yes.
Right. We are talking about the same way here. Now, which means I'm saying whatever you have done earlier, whatever you have done, or let's talk about this way. Whatever you have done earlier, I'll put it here. Append 1 to continent. Okay. You did this one. Append 1 to continent. Append 1 to KPI. From append 1 to, sorry. This is the other way around. I'm sorry. This is the other way around. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So in this example, what I'm talking about on the merge query. So you're writing the data to. So append 1 becomes to, and then KPI becomes from. Okay. From KPI, you're putting the data into the append 1 table. Okay.
Yes.
From KPI, you're putting the data into the append 1 table. Now you're saying from continent, you're putting the data into the append 1. From KPI, you're putting the data into the append 1. From country master, you're keeping the data into append 1. Now,
append 1.
Right. So continent to append 1 becomes 1-to-1 relationship.
1-to-1 relationship.
KPI to append 1 becomes 1-to-1.
1-to-1.
Country master to append 1 becomes 1-to-1 or 1-to-many or many-to-1 or many-to-many.
Many to many.
Okay, no. Say
1-to-many.
Okay. When you say 1-to-many, why?
Because in the append 1, there are already many continents and are there. But in
Let's
country
look at it
master,
this way.
there are only country code is there. No?
Right. Let's look at it in this way. In country master table, how many total number of rows of data you have?
2.
Rows of data.
Acha, rows 15 rows are there.
15 rows. And especially I'm talking about country code. So there are 15 country codes here, correct?
Correct.
And all these 15 these are 15 country codes you are looking in the country master. Append 1 table, how many country codes are there? How many rows of data you have?
So many, like.
Which is 9551.
Yeah, 9551. Yeah.
So which means you have got which means you have got 9551 rows of country code information here, correct? So in country master, these 15 country codes are unique in nature, but when it goes to the append one, they are duplicated. So which means 1 to they are connected to each row is connected to many multiple rows within the append one table. So this
Correct.
becomes
One too many.
One too many.
You got this point?
Yes.
Easier. Now you understood, like easier.
Yes.
I can give you a definition like, okay, 1 to many, it's each row to connected to each row connected to multiple rows connected to multiple row. But when I tell you, you might not be able to understand. But when you did this job, already you have done this job. So when you are looking at this direction, you will understand more why we are talking about 1 to many. Got it?
Yeah.
Now, in the similar way, we have got USD converter. Okay, you have got USD converter. Now USD converted to append one becomes what? USD converter you have got, and then you are connecting to the append one table. So what will be the relationship?
In USD converter, many to many, because two
USD converter there are
many to many.
There are that also can be one to many.
One to many or many to many?
Should be one
My
to
answer
many.
is many to many.
Okay, good. I'll tell you. If you are giving an answer many to many and you are giving an answer one to many, both are right. I'll tell you in why, which direction they are right. But again, it depends upon. For example, when I convert the USD, when I connect the USD converter to append one, when I use only continent alone, when I select only continent, connect through the continent, then it becomes many to many. Reason, do you see Asia as one data here?
Yeah.
No, Asia is repeated only once or multiple times?
Multiple times.
Right? So just imagine when I did this merge query here, which is the last but one. You remember we have selected continent and then currency alag-alag se select kiya tha?
Yeah.
Yes.
Suppose for example, if I didn't connect the currency, then I selected only the continent alone here. Then our friend said many to many, that answer will be right. But since the continent and the currency are being selected both, and they are becoming together, they are becoming a single connector, which means Asia Botswana Palau is only one, Asia dollar is only one, Asia Indian rupee is only one. In that scenario, it becomes one to many relationship. So now the way we connected became which relationship is it? Think and give me an answer now. The way we connected, what kind of relationship that becomes?
One to many.
It should many to one. Oh.
One to many. The reason why, if you go back to the USD converter, see, if you look alone this particular continent, this becomes many because you have got no unique values. But when you combine the continent and then currency together, they make a unique value. So, which means they are not many, they are only one.
One. Oh, got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
So that's why it becomes one to many. Now you tell me the confusion where it goes gonna start is append one. Okay. Now the same append one, I'm selecting this and I'm giving you the two table. For example, just imagine that हमें जो merge query किया था वो उल्टा किया. For example, we have done an reverse method, which means from table is your append one and then to table is your continent. Then what will be the relationship now? Probably I can give you the connector here so that you might remember, or the unique. I'll tell you the unique value. For the continents we have given a restaurant ID, and then
Yes.
KPI we have given again restaurant ID, country master we have given country code,
Country codes,
and then USD converter we gave
USD value, USD.
continent and
continent and
currency.
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 Okay, now you tell me the same thing. You tell me the same thing is applied. I'm not going out of this. I'm just doing the same thing. Now you give me an answer. Append one to connect continent will become what relationship through the restaurant ID?
1 to 1.
Very good. It's
Then
1
one
to
to many.
append 1 to KPA.
Acha, 1 to 1. 1 to 1.
1.
1 to 1 again.
Append 1 to country master.
1 to many.
Again, there are double answers or single one? Do you all agree 1 to many or many to 1?
1 to many.
That's wrong. It's called many to 1.
Yo.
Why?
Because the 2, okay.
Why? Because in append 1 there are 955
So
rows
many.
of
Yeah,
data.
yeah.
All these are getting connected to single table where it is got unique values. Got it?
And the again
USD converter
is
becomes
also many to 1. It's also many to 1.
Yes.
Love that.
Got it perfectly.
You got it, everyone?
Yes.
You understood this concept? The concept of this remains the same anywhere. Okay, the concept of this remains anywhere. Just to add, which is completely out, which is not updated here. I'm just doing it here for you. In case if this is only continent, okay, if this is only continent, which means USD converter to append one table is connected via continent, then what does this become? This becomes many
1 to
to
1. Many to many. Okay.
many to many.
Yeah, converter and append. Correct.
कि only continent ही हमें रख रहा है. Got it?
True.
So this also becomes many to many because
many to
again
many.
it is the same vice versa, right?
Right. Yes.
Understood this concept?
Yes.
Perfectly.
Right. I will put the same concept here on your Teams message so that you will be able to identify this. Whenever you are stuck with a relationship, whenever you didn't understand, look at this example. I bet you should be able to do what is a one-to-one, what one-to-many, many-to-one. Now, if you understand this concept, now I'll go back to the Power BI. Okay, I'll go back to the Power BI. And now I'll go back to the model view again. And now that what we are going to do this, we are going to see the same thing. Now, first thing what we are going to do is I'm going to select this append one table, or let's say I'm going to select the Asia table. Okay, and click on the manage relationship. Okay, I clicked on the manage relationship. Now there are two options for me. One is new, one is auto detect. Okay, new का मतलब है कि आप manually यहाँ पे relation maintain कर सकते हो. Now again, you might have got a question, or let's say if I am there in your place, I would question this way. In Power Query Editor, I already have created merge queries, which means I already have created a relationship between two tables. Now, what is the relationship between the method I have done in the Power Query Editor and what is it again I'm going to do on the model view? What is the relationship between these two? Why we are doing this method again? Since I already have done the merge query there in the Power Query Editor, again, why you have to do this? If I'm there in your position, I would definitely ask this question to the instructor. Why you are doing this method? Now, the point is very simple. In Power Query Editor, you are creating a data model. Okay, you are creating a data model there and with the complete data information. in Power BI, you're not creating the connectivity. The reason if you're not doing the connectivity, क्या हो सकता है कि, I mean, this is a typical scenario where you might come across, not on this example, but sometimes there are experts on the Power BI. They doesn't want to create the merge queries or do whatever we have done. Okay, whatever we did on the Power Query Editor, so experts might not do that way. What they does, as someone who's very strong with a model background, they will come back to the Power Query Editor and then they'll create a relationship between Asia and append1. So when they say Asia and append1, they're just going to drag information from here. So let's say in this case, I have got the information called restaurant ID. Okay, I have a restaurant ID. Now on the append1 also, I have a restaurant ID. Let's say.
Yes.
So an expert, what they will do, they'll come and say, Bhaiya, I need to connect this restaurant ID from here to the append1 restaurant ID. So I look for the restaurant ID wherever it is.
Yeah, it is there.
Where is it in the
Below,
restaurant ID?
below. Yeah, it's
Here.
there. Yeah.
So the moment when I drag the restaurant ID from here to here, okay, it creates a connectivity without, it just creates a connectivity. Okay, so that is where your managed relationships actually will work here. So now you see how the data is connected.
Yeah.
When I select this restaurant ID from here to here, what does the relationship it is showing up?
1-to-1.
If you look at this, it started from 1, it ended at 1, right?
Yeah.
So this means it is a 1-to-1. And do you see this bidirectional arrow in between?
Yes.
What does this indicate? This indicates that Zomato Asia to append1 is 1-to-1. Append1 to Zomato is an Asia. Append1 to Zomato Asia is also a 1-to-1. And that is what we have discussed in the Excel file. You see the continent append1 is a 1-to-1 relationship.
Yes. So from both the side, it is a 1-to-1. That is
That's
what
all.
it indicates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you look at this continent, append1 is 1-to-1. Append1 to continent is 1-to-1.
It's also 1-to-1. Perfect.
Right?
Yes.
Similarly, for all the continents, if I keep doing the same thing, it will do the same. Now let's look at the KPI. KPIs को अगर मैंने update करूँ, तो KPI to restaurant ID again, I am dragging it onto the append1. Now you will see the connectivity will be again 1-to-1 relationship. Do you see this 1-to-1 relationship?
Yes.
Is it a bidirectional here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Now the same thing we have discussed on Excel. KPI to append1 is 1-to-1 and append1 to KPI is 1-to-1.
True.
Now let's look at the country master. Okay, let me collapse it. So USD converter. Okay, USD converter to append1. Ideally, what happens in this scenario, you will see a bit of surprise. Reason being, when I put the continent, as I told you, just take a look at this. When I connect the continent to continent here, it says many to many. You see many to many relationship, right?
Yeah.
Now that what I'll do, I'll say, Bhaiya, it is not just only this, it is also the currency. You need to select. Then also it becomes many to many. But ideally, what we did is a 1-to-1 relationship. Okay. Ideally, what we did is a 1-to-1 relationship. So this relationship is actually not correct here, what it is shown on the model. So what you need to do is you need to just select it, because when it is creating, it will just say, okay, it becomes
down.
I mean, you don't need to get worried about this, but it whatever
KPI
we are doing,
currencies. Yeah.
KPI currency.
Up KPI currency.
Right. This is
Yeah.
a KPI currency. And then when I drag the continent, okay, I'll just say okay. So now it becomes many to many relationship because only currency to currency is many to many, and continent
Yes.
to continent. It just shows the same thing like many to many. But in an ideal scenario, what we have discussed here is become actually a one to many only. I mean, whatever we have done is correct. The reason why I'm saying like this, as I told you, when you are looking between continent, that's why I have given you this. When you look continent by continent, it becomes many to many. You see, many to many, currency to many to many. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, similarly, if you look at the country master, so country master में क्या है कि you have got the country code. So this country code or the country name, yeah, this is the country name. Okay. So when I bring this country code to country here, now this becomes one to many. So if you look at the direction here, does it say, you see this?
One to many.
One to many. The star indicates many. Okay. And that is what we are looking at here. Country master, one to many.
Master to country code. Yeah. One. Correct.
You understood this concept?
Yes.
Now you see this. When I go to the manage relationship here, so far what I have done is a manual connectivity. Now, when I go to the manage relationship, as I told you, whatever the connectivity I have given on the back end, it is actually appearing here, and then everything it has been the place where it is check mark that says it is active. Okay, so that is active. So the place where it is not check, which is the USD converter, you see this dotted line here. This says it is not active connected. Okay, and that's why it is not check mark here. If I check this, it will become solid line like this. So anyways, it is already dually connected, so it is not taking up. But anyways, this is a one more connectivity it also have got. So this is an inactive connectivity. Now that what I am going to do is I'm going to select the auto detect. Just click on the auto detect. When I click on the auto detect, you will see more number of relationships. You see there are 39 relationships found. Okay, 39 different relationships are found. What is this 39 relationship? The same thing whatever you did see here on a consolidatedly, I just put continent. So continent में कितना है हमारा 6, correct?
Yes.
6 continents, KPI 1, country master 1, and USD converter 1. Similarly, append to continent again. This is 6. This is 1. This is 1. This is 1, right? So how many you have got? 18, correct?
Yeah.
So the sum is 18. Okay, 18 to 18 relationships. Along with that, you have also have got something duplicate and reference also. So only also they have been updated somewhere. You see, this is a duplicate. Got it? So it has found different kinds of relationships. And now when I click on close, you will see that it's a big of I mean, this data is completely will be updated with more number of relationships. You see.
It will come all. It will show all 39 relationships here.
All the 39 relationships, and some are active and some are not active, some are inactive. But ये फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. ये कहाँ फर्क पड़ता है हमको कि जब स्लाइसर्स का टॉपिक यूज करेंगे उस वक्त हमको यहाँ पे फर्क पड़ेगा. तो मैंने बताऊंगा आपको, सिखाऊंगा कि जब स्लाइसर्स में के बारे जब सिखाऊंगा तो मैंने बताऊंगा कि ये कनेक्टिविटी वहां पे कैसे कनेक्ट होगा. मतलब दैट इज हाउ it is being going to get related to the topic. But on an individual note, you need to understand this is how their models are working. पहले जब मॉडल व्यू में जाने के बाद आपको टेबल्स के बीच में बहुत कनेक्टर्स है, आपको समझ रहे हैं ये कनेक्टर्स कैसे हैं. Now you understood this whole topic of how the connectors have been actually updated.
Yes.
Yes.
Now can I say you guys are strong enough on the topics of relationship which is one to one, one to many, many to one, many to many?
Lakshmi, this file will be shared, right, to us?
अभी के अभी शेयर करूंगा, ठीक है?
So that we remember.
I know. If you remember this, I already have given the table here.
Yes.
But anyways, I'll give you the file also. I don't know if I can. I think I cannot attach the file, but I'll give you the file later. Mail karunga, I'll ask Prabhas to send to you guys.
ठीक.
Okay. Okay, I know you're worried about the file, but are you worried about the concept? आपको concept समझ आया या नहीं?
Yeah, understood.
But maybe after practicing it more, we'll get onto it.
Obviously.
हाँ पूरा hands on होने से होगा. हाँ.
हाँ, obviously. फिर किसने बोला है कि एक शॉट में सब समझ आएगा? मुझे भी टाइम लगा ये समझने के लिए. But the whole point is the practice, and that is what I keep reminding. You need to practice more. But now you are able to understand with a glimpse of it, the first glimpse of how you can understand the concept of one to many and one many to many and everything.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'll do one thing. I'll stop it here. I'll not load more of the information. I'll just refresh the topic what we have discussed so that you guys can keep practicing it. And don't worry, you're not lagging behind. You're almost to the verge where you're entered the Power BI. Only thing what you need to do is to practice it till here and then come up with any questions you have. Now the next topic will be is you are going to create the reports. Okay, so you're going to work only on the visualizations from the next class. So now as a refresher, what we have done today is we continued from the transform tab where we stopped on the last session, wherein we did till append one and we did see multiple options. Okay, now what we have done so today is on the append one, you guys have learned the merge queries option, which is a kind of VLOOKUP formula in Excel. So likewise, similarly, you have got the merge queries option in the Power BI. And as I told you, this is the pretty most easier and the best topic in the Power BI where you will keep using this more. Okay. And this is only for you to build your complete 100% activity. So what we have done, we created multiple queries from the to the append one table from different tables, like the extra files that we have added today, which is the country master. And while we are doing the country master, we also did see how you have created the remove blank rows, and then how do you remove the duplicates and then made a unique data. Similarly, on the USD converter, you also have got a similar unique information, and from the KPI. So from all these tables like KPI, you put the data into the append one using the merge query option. Similarly, on the country master, you converted through, you updated the country names using the country code through the merge query option. But on the USD converter, what you did is not just only the continent, but you also did learn on the merge query, how do you select multiple parameters, using them, how you have defined to get the data of USD column into the append one table through merge query option. Okay, so if you go to the merge append one table, so for this, for you just to understand, on the merge queries, so far we have done a single selection, but in this case we did a multiple selection. By using the control key on the keyboard, we selected the continents first that needs to be updated, and then the currency by using the control keyboard. So that is where you can see the numbers are assigned to understand that what is the first parameter that I used, what is the second parameter, and how the unique value has been created. So that is what you have learned on the merge query. And prior to this, also we did saw one of the topic where we created a separate table, which is a manual table for each of the continent. We gave a grouping name, and those grouping names are again brought onto the append one query using the merge query and connected through the parameter, so that the moment once I change the value on the parameter, you did witness that how the append one query is actually filtering your grouped information. So this is a bit of workaround. These are the options that you have learned. Besides this, what we also have discussed, I think we also discussed about the trim formula, how you can trim a certain column. Okay, so this is the only point that we have discussed on the Power Query Editor, post which we loaded this information back onto the Power BI screen. Okay, by click on the close and apply option. And once you do that, you will see all the append names, all the table names that you have worked on the query editor so far. And we discussed on the model view. How do you understand a particular model view? Okay, so you could give a different names to whatever the, I mean, you can define whatever the name you like on the model view. But what you need to understand on this, each of the table, how you are connected to different table. And that is what we have learned on the Excel file. We're giving this information, right? Like from continent to append1, it is a one-to-one relationship through restaurant ID. Similarly, the KPI to append1, it is through the restaurant ID, it is one-to-one. Now, even if I sort this here, so you will see that
Yeah.
also append1 to continent, and then append1 to KPI, append1 to country master, append1 to USD converter via continent and currency, how it makes an continent and only continent, how it makes an, and continent to append1, how it is the building the relationship. Okay, now brush up this data, like brush up all this information, like whatever you have learned today, okay, in terms of the relationship and everything. And once you brush up these skills, I would definitely say you guys will be in a good position to understand the relationships more. And post which, once you start using the visualization and started working on the slicer, you will come to know more about why we did this activity of doing the relationship model in the Power BI. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Shubhamita, is your laptop ready? Something?
No,
Is it working now?
no, I gave up.
Okay, don't give up. Don't worry about that. Okay.
No, I gave up on the laptop, not on the learning.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's cool. So no problem. So do you guys have any questions so far on the topics what we have learned?
I will check my Power BI again and then refer to this recording and go through it again. If I have questions, I'll definitely let you know.
Srikant,
Mhm.
the relationship that we have done manually, like dragging the converter and USD and this to the append one, it does automatic also, right?
It is automatic by when you click on the
Mm-hmm.
manage relationships and then click on the auto detect, that will automatically do that for you.
Okay, but only for the our understanding purpose, you have done it manually and you have shown it.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Like there are people who does this way, there are people who does this way. It depends. And honestly, no one will go into the model view. Very honestly, tell me, no one gets into the model view. But there are people like, sometimes even I do, that I can go into the model view directly and then create a relationship, because it comes with a practice.
But good that you showed us one to, like manually, and so that we could understand properly, very perfectly.
Right. The conceptual wise, it remains the same. Like how you can do it matters. Like you just have to need to know which option will be the best when you're doing your own activities.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shubhamita, for you, what we can do is, I'll tell you the simple scenario. I will share you this day to Power BI file. Okay. I'll share you the day to Power BI file. All you need to do is to go to the transform data once your laptop, everything is ready. Go to the transform data and refer to the video one session. How do you change the data source setting? So all you need to do is to change the data source settings, whatever you see here on the screen for each of the files. And once you do that, everything should refresh automatically for you.
Okay.
Got
Sounds
it?
good. Yeah.
Not only for you, I'll just send this to everyone along with the continent file so that you guys keep a track of whatever you are. So that will be good
So that it
enough that you
matches
are
to
the
yes.
everyone.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Any questions? Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, Srikant Sarda here.
Yes, Sarada.
Yeah, can I connect with you? Just individually, I have some problem with my system. So
Okay.
I didn't practice only. I just watched the video only.
Sure, no problem at all.
So how can I?
You
connect
just
with
drop a message on the group. We'll pick up from there. Okay, we'll connect there.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Is it okay tomorrow? Can we connect, or you want us to connect today?
Yeah, it is today. Then it's fine.
Okay, give me some time then. Okay.
So you can just confirm the time. Then that time I'll come.
Yeah, I'll ask Prabhas to ping because we'll just Prabhas and me, myself, both of us will connect. We'll see what's the problem. Okay, we'll try to give you a solution. Whatever
sure.
it is there, feasible in our hand.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So I hope that you are having a good learning and you guys are in a good shape. Ashish and Namita and Shekhar.
Yes, yes.
If there are any queries after practicing, we'll let you know.
Thank you so much, Namita. I hope definitely you guys should be practicing. Okay, that is what I always expect from you guys. Okay.
Yes.
All right then.
Shrikant,
Yes. Yes.
can you hear me? Are you going to watch Thimmarasu movie today on Netflix?
No. I already did watched many times.
Today I'm going to watch it.
Good thing. Okay.
I
At
also
least.
belong to Andhra, so
Oh,
that's
okay. From which place?
sorry.
Which part of
Vizag.
Andhra?
Vizag.
Oh, very near to my place. I'm
So you
from
are from?
Kakinada.
Okay, Kakinada. Acha, that's
Yes.
good. Okay. So
All
enjoy.
right. All right.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, guys. Thank you and happy independence.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Same
Thank
to
Happy
you.
Yes,
Bye
same
bye.
to you all.
Independence.
Thank you. Bye. Happy.
Bye bye. Thank you.